Chapter 364. Old Lord, we've noticed that your power of faith has increased by several folds recently. If this continues, breaking through to the seventh heaven is just around the corner. Do you have any good ideas? Tell us about it. In the heaven court, a few old men were playing chess. Waves of power of faith had reached the heaven court from the mortal realm, causing Taishan Laojuan's dojo to emit waves of golden light. To be honest, I'm not too sure about this either. The power of faith has increased recently, but it's not very pure. Taishan Laojun stroked his beard and said, "Before I came to play chess, I met the ancestor of the Earth Immortals, Brother Jin Yuan. I had to trouble him to do a divination. It seems like the power of faith has a lot to do with the mind-reading sage. Seems like the mind-reading sage is living quite well in the mortal realm. I'm starting to miss his wine. Let's not get involved in the mortal realm's affairs. The Jade Emperor has been in a bad mood recently. It seems like the Queen Mother." Before the barefoot immortal could finish his sentence, he saw the Jade Emperor flying towards them from afar. He quickly shut his mouth. "Immortals, if you have nothing to do, you can come to my place for a visit. I've been busy with the Heaven Court recently, so I haven't talked to you much," the Jade Emperor said with a smile. The few of them looked at each other. "Go to your place for a visit? We don't have the strength and background of Wu Gang and Yang Jian. It's better not to go." "Jade Emperor, I still have some matters to attend to at my dojo. I'm afraid I can't continue the game today. I'll take my leave first," the barefoot immortal said and soared into the clouds, disappearing from the heaven court. "If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten about it. That mount of mine has not been behaving well recently. I should go back and keep an eye on it. If it runs to the lower planes, things will become troublesome." Another ascendant immortal turned and ran away. "My pills. Could it be that the monkey smelled the medicine again? I have to go back." Taishan Laojun turned and ran away. Tai Bai Jinxing was the only one left among the few who were playing chess. "The monkey has been very obedient recently. How could it go back and steal the pills?" The Jade Emperor shook his head helplessly. On the way here, he saw the monkey strolling around Pan Taoyuan. It was obvious that the few of them didn't want to talk to him. Luckily, Tai Bai Jinxing was still there. "Lord Tai Bai, don't you have anything to do today?" Tai Bai Jinxing almost spat out the wine he just drank when the Jade Emperor spoke. Tai Bai Jinxing thought to himself, "Back then, I seem to have said a few drunken words with true Lord mind reading when I was drunk. How would the Jade Emperor know? Jade Emperor, please don't be angry. Back then, I said some nonsense after drinking. Jade Emperor, please don't take it seriously." Tai Bai Jinxing said softly, "If there is nothing else, I will return to the training hall. There have been a lot of things recently. Tai Bai, I only want to hear one thing from you. Am I not as important as that mind-reading, perfected cultivator in your hearts?" That day, he was banished to the lower realm and was sent off by 100 immortals. I was so envious of him. His days with others were so good. The Jade Emperor couldn't help but say, "Jade Emperor, you're overthinking. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile, "Compared to mind-reading perfected cultivator, you're still lacking. You can even throw away the inheritance jade token on your waist. Sigh, you won't be able to sit as the Jade Emperor for long." In the Las Vegas casino, Daniel lost the first round of the first round. Everyone's eyes widened. Even Daniel himself didn't expect that when Guo Pai shook the dice cup, he heard that there were at most 4 sixes. How could there be 14? Could he have heard wrongly? Or was this Hua Xia kid pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger? However, Daniel understood after a while. How could he be pretending to be a pig to eat the tiger? If that was the case, this kid might as well go into acting. The Oscar award would definitely be his. As Daniel thought about it, the second round began. Daniel wasn't affected by the first round. In the second round, Daniel quickly placed the dice cup on the table. This time, he thought that he had performed better than the previous round. He was sure that there would be at least 16 sixes in this round. Even Teacher Dennis would find it difficult to shake such an idea. Guopai was about the same as before. He slowly placed the dice cup on the table. He looked like a villain who had achieved something. This made everyone watching the video very unhappy. Even Jia Yuan couldn't help but curse. "Old dealer, I feel good this time. Last time, Mr. Daniel opened the dice cup first. I was wondering if I could open it first this time, Guopai said with a smile. The old dealer glanced at Daniel, and the latter nodded. The old dealer opened the dice cup in front of Guopai. Suddenly, everyone watching the live broadcast was dumbfounded. 14 1 points, 6 2 points, 4 3 points, a total of 38 points. The old dealer said softly and nodded helplessly. The people who bet on Guopai to win, except for Jia Yuan and a few others, all withered. The people who bet on Daniel to win began to cheer. Kid, we're comparing who's bigger. You got 38 points. Huh, do I still need to open my dice cup? Daniel said with a hint of pride. Your dice cup hasn't been opened yet. What are you so happy about? Maybe you're the same as me. Look at how gossipy you are. Guopai said with a smile. Old dealer, please open Dennis's dice cup. I know my points are a little low this time, but it doesn't mean that I can't win. My luck has always been very good. The old dealer walked to Daniel's side helplessly. Naturally, he heard the sound of Daniel shaking the dice cup this time. It was at least 130 points. However, the moment the dice cup was opened, the originally noisy casino suddenly became dead silent. 14 1 points, 6 2 points, 4 3 points, a total of 38 points. The old dealer couldn't help but rub his eyes, but it was indeed 38 points. Daniel stood up, and so did Guopai. Many people rubbed their eyes hard like the old dealer. 38 points. Daniel really got 38 points. Daniel, are you looking down on me? I know that you people who specialize in gambling have the ability to shake out the points you want, but you can't give me the same. What are you doing? Guopai shouted loudly and confidently. In front of the computer, Yu was lying on the ground laughing. Mind-reading sage, haha, this move is too good. Impossible, this is impossible. How can this be? Daniel, who had been calm all this time, was in a mess. The most taboo thing in a fight between experts was to be impatient. If they were both gambling kings, Daniel would definitely lose the rest of the game. However, Daniel recovered his mood after a while. Maybe this kid is really too lucky, but I will definitely beat him. Let's start the third round. Both rounds are 38 points. It's a draw, Daniel said with a smile. No. Mr. Daniel, I think you should still remember what you said at the beginning. If it's a draw, I will win this round, and we can start the second round, Guopai said with a smile. Daniel's face suddenly turned red, but he was already in a difficult position. He could only think of winning the remaining rounds with his strength. The first round of the competition, Chef God Hua Xiao wins. The old dealer said excitedly. This victory was really a free win. It was the same. Daniel looked at Guopai. Guopai's words almost made him vomit blood. I thought you were giving me a handicap. It turns out that your strength is just like this. Silver spear and wax head. Chapter 365. Daniel was so angry that he was speechless, but he had no choice. He had lost the first round, and it was a humiliating loss. Guo had a complacent look on his face. The people who had bet on Guo victory couldn't help but want to curse. This was only the first round of the competition. If you have the guts to win 3 rounds in a row, then you can show off. Mr. Nangong, do you need to rest in the middle? If not, let's start the next round, Daniel said with a dark face. Mr. Daniel, you don't look well. If you don't want to rest, I won't either. I won the first round. What do you want to bet on in the second round? I'll accompany you to the end, Guopai said with a smile as he took a sip of the red wine that the waiter handed over. It tastes terrible, Brother Chi. Is this the best wine in your casino? Chi Dong nodded first, then shook his head. Damn it, you drink your wine every day. Of course, you feel that this wine tastes terrible. If I were you, I wouldn't even try it. Forget it. Let's start the second round. Mr. Daniel, what do you want to bet on? Say it. Don't waste everyone's time, Guopai said with a smile. Dice. I want to bet on dice with you. There are 12 dice in the dice cup. You shake, I guess, and I shake. Whoever guesses the closest to the final number wins, Daniel said loudly. He had lost the first round of dice, so he wanted to get it back from the dice. Hee, Mr. Daniel, why don't I tell you a joke? Guopai said with a smile when he heard Daniel say that he wanted to bet on dice. Daniel did not speak, so Guopai began. Once upon a time, A hunter went hunting and encountered a bear. He did not expect to be raped by the bear before he could hunt. The next day, he went again and was raped again. On the third day, when he appeared in front of the bear again, the bear could not help but say something. Guess what he said? Guopai said with a smile. The bear said, "Are you here to hunt or to sell? Why are you always doing this?" When Guopai finished speaking, the group of Americans did not realize what he meant. However, on the other side of the ocean, many people from Huaxia's side were already laughing and burrowing into their tables. "Huaxia, what do you mean?" Daniel asked with his eyes wide open. "Hee, Mr. Daniel, you lost the first round of dice, and you still want to compete with me. Is it going to be the same for the third round? If so, you're indeed a bit like that hunter, hee." As soon as Guopai finished speaking, the group of Americans came to a sudden realization. Daniel was so angry that he could not speak. "Since you want to compete with dice, then let's do it. How about 2 out of 3 rounds? This time, I won't take advantage of you. If it's a draw, then you win." Guopai said with a smile as he held the dice cup in his hand. Daniel also held the dice cup in his hand and put in the 12 dice. "Let me shake it first." As Guopai spoke, he shook the dice cup in a very ordinary way. This time, Daniel was listening to the sound inside the dice cup with all his attention. His eyes were also fixed on the dice cup. Guopai suddenly felt a strange aura. X-ray vision. Damn, no wonder he felt that this kid was a little unusual from the beginning. It turned out that he knew how to do this. Guopai put the dice cup on the table. He did not intend to use any tricks. 2 out of 3 rounds. He wanted to see what Daniel was capable of first. 12 dice. 3 sixes, 3 fours, 3 threes, 2 twos, and 1 1. There are a total of 44 dice. "Open it and see," Daniel said confidently. The old dealer opened the dice cup. A group of people who were closer to Guopai saw the number in the dice cup clearly. It was exactly as Daniel had said. Then there was applause. On Mount Tyrannosaurus, a group of people from the Tyrannosaurus group gathered around a notebook and looked at it. Xing Tian whispered, "It's over. This foreigner has some skills. I'm afraid my bad brother is in danger this time." "Brother Xing, you only have that little money. If you lose, so be it. I bet my wife's money on you." One of Xing Tian's men, who was quite powerful, said with a smile, "You brat, you're still acting innocent after getting a bargain. If I didn't transfer the money to you guys, would I not grasp this opportunity to make money?" Xing Tian punched the brat's chest. He already knew that Nangong how was Guopai. How could Guopai lose? "Huaxia, listen carefully. It's my turn to shake the dice cup." As Daniel spoke, he shook the dice cup very quickly. A group of people who bet on Daniel to win felt that the sound was really pleasant. After about 10 seconds, the dice cup fell down. Daniel looked at Guopai with a smirk. 44 points. You have 44 points as well. How could I not know what you're thinking? This time, no matter if I'm right or wrong, I'll still lose. I'm guessing that you have 44 points as well, Guo Shuai said without thinking. The old dealer opened Daniel's dice cup. There were 3 sixes, 3 fours, 3 threes, 2 twos, and 1 point. It was exactly the same as the situation in Guopai's dice cup just now. Guopai got it right. It was also 44 points. However, according to the previous rules, Guopai lost this round because it was a draw. Huaxia brat, you guessed well. But it's useless even if you guessed right. I win even if it's a draw, Daniel said with a smile. Comfortable. This was the feeling he wanted. Just now, you also won against me like this. How about my face back? The old dealer looked at the two and nodded, indicating that they could start the next round. This time, Daniel shook the dice first. Guopai didn't seem to hear Daniel shaking the dice at all. Daniel's dice cup fell down. Guopai smiled and said a number. 38. Just now, I won against you with 38 points. This time, it's still 38 points. The moment Guopai said the number, Daniel's facial expression changed unnaturally. It was indeed 38 points. Daniel shook it casually. However, he naturally knew the number. He didn't expect this Huaxia to be so lucky. He actually guessed it right. But it was useless even if he guessed it right. Even if it was a draw, he would lose. Huaxia, this chef, is really lucky. He guessed it right. It seems that the Grand Supreme Lao Jun he mentioned is really useful. I have to go to Chinatown and buy one when I go back, a foreigner said thoughtfully. The others nodded. Guopai didn't stay idle. He held the dice cup in his hand and began to shake it. This time, he shook it for a long time. He even started to sweat. Daniel was too lazy to listen this time. He would just check the number when the time came. After about half a minute, Guopai put down the dice cup. Daniel frowned. All 12 dice could be seen clearly. However, he could see the number of points on 11 of them. In the middle, one of the dice was spinning rapidly and didn't stop. American, guess. I know that you won't be able to guess it if my brother shakes it for a long time, Guopai said jokingly. Daniel stared at the dice, waiting for it to stop. 2 minutes. The dice had been spinning for 2 whole minutes. Daniel didn't dare to keep looking at the dice cup because it was too tiring. Although the dice didn't stop spinning, he had more or less guessed the number that would appear. 37 points. Mr. Dealer, please open the dice cup, Daniel said with a gentlemanly smile. Mr. Daniel, you guessed wrong this time. 38 points. The old dealer opened the dice cup. It was 38 points. Guopai also shook out 38 points this time. I won against you with 38 points just now. This time, it's still 38 points. I won against you again. Don't tell me I'm going to change my lucky number? Complacent. That's right. Guopai once again revealed that disgusting, complacent expression. Chapter 366. I won against you with 38 points just now. This time, it's still 38 points. I won against you again. Don't tell me I'm going to change my lucky number? Complacent. That's right. Guopai once again revealed that disgusting, complacent expression. Good. It seems that I have underestimated you. Let's start the third round. This time, I will definitely win. Daniel squinted at Guopai and said, it seemed that this Huaxia chef knew some gambling skills. Gambling skills? What gambling skills? It was just some small tricks of the Qian men. Although he did not deal with those people in the past, he still learned some of the essence of the Qian men's tricks. The way of rolling the dice just now was learned from one of the elders of the Qian men. Although the second round was 1-1, no one in the whole casino thought that this Huaxia chef could still win against Daniel. Some people even thought that if it was just a bet of 10 billion, not including the hands and legs, they would suspect that Daniel was going easy on him. The third round began. This time, both of them rolled the dice at the same time. This time, Daniel even threw the dice cup directly into the air. Then, the dice cup landed steadily on the table. Guopai also put the dice cup on the table. Daniel looked at Guopai's dice cup and laughed. He had already seen the numbers inside clearly. This time, he was going to win no matter what. Guopai looked at Daniel with disdain. He naturally knew the points in Daniel's dice cup, but now, both of them did not speak. Mr. Dealer, I think this time we should write the answers on the paper separately and then open the dice cup at the same time. This will be fairer, Daniel said with a smile. The dealer looked at Guopai. Guopai looked indifferent, so the dealer asked the waiter to bring a pen and paper. Guopai casually wrote 38 points on the paper. The group of people stared with their eyes wide open. This was purely based on luck. When Daniel saw the numbers written by Guopai, he couldn't help but laugh. It seemed that he had worried too much, because the numbers written by Huaxia were too different from his own. Daniel took another look at Guopai's dice cup and wrote 66 on the paper. This time, Guopai's dice roll was indeed not low. However, it was not a competition of size. What was the point of having a high number? Daniel, if I win this round, it will be 2-0. I'm really doubting it now. They said that you were the gambling king's disciple. Are you really? With your strength, you can only fool the girls in our nightclub, Guopai said with a smile. Daniel didn't say much and directly asked the dealer to open his dice. 27 points, compared to Guopai's 38 points. The difference was too big. A few of them couldn't help but shake their heads. Even Jia Yuan, who had been staring at the computer screen, shook his head. Lao Si, don't play with me. If you lose, I will be finished. Everything will have to start again, Jia Yuan said to himself. F***CK. How could I bet that the Huaxia people would win? He was just guessing randomly. The few Americans who had bet on Guopai said helplessly. However, looking at Guopai's relaxed expression, they didn't know why this person could still laugh. Open it. Maybe Mr. Daniel is even more unreliable than me. The number I rolled this time is not small, Guo Pai said with a smile. Daniel became more confident. When the dice cup in front of Guo Pai opened, the old dealer was first stunned. Then, the people around saw the number in the dice cup. Many of them even picked up a calculator to calculate the number. 57 points, Daniel. You didn't guess it right either, the old dealer murmured. Daniel, who was tasting red wine, suddenly choked. Cough, cough, cough. This is impossible. I clearly saw that it was 66 points. How could it be 57 points? Daniel stood up abruptly and ran to Guo Pai. After a while, Daniel had calculated the total number of the dice that Guo Pai had. It was indeed 57 points. Both of them didn't guess correctly. Who won? Many people in the crowd didn't react. Someone began to ask loudly. Aha, I knew Lao Si wouldn't lose. How could he lose? Lao Si is a demon. Jia Yuan laughed. 2-0. Yuan International was no longer his, but it didn't matter. As long as Lao Si could win, Jia Yuan would have 3 Yuan Internationals. By then, Yuan International would be considered to be in line with the international market. Is there a need to calculate? Huaxia is off by 11 points. Daniel is off by 12 points. Huaxia has won this competition. How is this possible? How could Daniel guess wrong? Could this be a conspiracy of the Shijing Casino? I know that Daniel has some connections with the boss of the Shijing Casino. A bearded man who wasn't tall whispered. However, many people around him heard him. When some people wanted to ask him something, the bearded man was nowhere to be found. Colin, well done. As long as Mr. Nangong wins another round, there will be no more Shijing Casino in Las Vegas. Gypsy, haha. You thought that you did a perfect job back then. In fact, there's nothing you can hide from me, Wes said with a smile. Wasn't this Colin the bearded man just now? Daniel is the nephew of the Shijing Casino's boss. He has already lost 2 rounds in a row. If he loses another round, all our money will be gone. The crowd began to discuss. The data from Shijing Casino was all fake. It must be that Gypsy and Daniel had agreed to let Daniel lose to Huaxia on purpose, so that their casino would become bigger. All the gamblers no longer considered whether or not Daniel was Gambling King Dennis's disciple. They also didn't think that Daniel would have much value. In any case, they were certain that Daniel would lose and their money would be gone soon. A huge wave of negative emotions directly affected Daniel, who was on the stage. B. Astor starred, it's true that Gypsy is my uncle. However, the bet between me and Huaxia is my own business. How could it have anything to do with my uncle? We're not only betting money, but also an arm and a leg. Are you going to go easy on me? Daniel finally couldn't help but shout. Not necessarily. People like us bet at least tens of billions. How much is an arm and a leg worth? Prosthetics are so cheap now. When the time comes, your uncle will just give you a few billion. Wouldn't that be enough for you? Not to mention your uncle. Even your father would dare to let his son fight at a critical moment. Someone in the crowd shouted. A group of people echoed. Daniel was already furious. At this moment, his phone rang. Daniel, what are you doing? It's already been 2 rounds. Don't tell me you can't even beat a chef. It was Gypsy. When he lost the first round, Gypsy could still laugh. After all, anyone could lose. However, after losing the second round, Gypsy couldn't calm down. I'm the one betting. Do you think I want to lose? If you have a more suitable candidate, you can let him replace me. Why didn't you have this attitude when I was earning money for you? Uncle, you are really my good uncle. Daniel shouted loudly. After losing 2 rounds in a row, his heart was completely messed up. At first, he just wanted to win some money. He didn't expect his uncle to open such a big bet. Now that he was at a disadvantage, even his uncle had turned hostile towards him. Daniel, calm down. Let me tell you, if you lose this time, we are all finished. Completely finished. The entire Shijing Casino is finished. Gypsy shouted. He was scared. He was really scared. If you and your uncle are done with the show, I think we can start the 3rd round. I still have something to do later. Please hurry up. Guo Pai said with a smile after Daniel hung up the phone. At this moment, Guo Pai gave Daniel a completely different feeling. It turned out that this Huaxia was a gambling master. Chapter 367. Daniel was completely awakened by Gypsy's last sentence. Yes, if he lost an arm and a leg, he would be finished. His master, Dennis, would definitely go to the Shijing Casino to find trouble. Regardless of whether the Shijing Casino earned or lost this time, if they offended such a gambling king, the Shijing Casino would not be able to operate in Las Vegas in the future. Daniel looked at Guopai, who had a smirk on his face. Who was this person? He had seen his culinary skills, and he was indeed a master among masters. However, how could he be so good at gambling as well? He had been immersed in gambling since he was young, and that was how he had achieved his current results. The young man in front of him could not be more hard-working than him. Mr. Nangong Hao, I need to rest for 15 minutes. I hope that our third match will start in 15 minutes. How about that? Daniel looked at Guopai and said. Guopai looked indifferent. If you want to rest, then rest. I'll go to the toilet. As he said that, Guopai stood up and went straight to the toilet without caring about the others. Daniel returned to a lounge in the big casino. About 10 minutes later, Daniel came out of the lounge with a completely different spirit. The anger, helplessness, and shock from before had all disappeared. Now, Daniel came out full of confidence. A strong sense of confidence even affected many people in the big casino. Daniel, I'm back. I will win the remaining 3 matches. Don't worry. Daniel returned to his seat and said loudly. The whole gambling hall was in an uproar again. Guopao came back from the toilet and looked at Daniel, whose confidence had skyrocketed. He frowned slightly. This guy was really a talent. However, no matter if he was a talent or a genius, he shouldn't have bullied little Ling Mo. He should pay a heavy price for bullying my people. Mr. Nangong Hao, I'm sorry to have taken up some of your time. I'll decide what to bet for the third match. After all, I'm already behind by 2-0. I think Mr. Nangong Hao won 2 matches in a row, not just by luck, Daniel said with a smile. You'll decide for the third match. Luck is luck, but your gambling skills are really ordinary. Guopai smiled and said, Come on, everyone must be anxious. If I win against you, I can earn at least $30 billion. Just thinking about it makes me happy. Daniel also laughed. The young man in front of him had won 2 rounds in a row, and he didn't blame him for losing. He didn't expect him to still want to provoke him. However, he didn't know that when it came to gambling, it didn't matter if you were the gambling king or the gambling king's disciple. How could you compare to a banished immortal like him? Let's play 5-card stud for the third round. Since we all have $10 billion, it's not a bad idea to play 5-card stud. Not only can we play, but we can also call a few others. Whoever has more money in the end will win. What do you think, Mr. Nangong? Daniel said with a smile. I know about 5-card stud. I saw it when I watched a movie in Huaxia. We can play it, but we really can't play it. I don't know who else here wants to play, but you can join us. Don't ask for 10 billion. If it's too much, there won't be so many people playing. 1 billion, there should be many people who could take out 1 billion, right? 1 billion can be on the table. If 5 more people come, there won't be any left. Gua said with a smile. Let's see who has more money in the end. Daniel smiled and nodded. He didn't care how much money he had. He had to win against this Huaxiao man. He couldn't afford to lose. Daniel, I'll give you 1 billion. Count me in this time. How about it? A man in his 40s said loudly. Someone in the crowd immediately recognized this middle-aged man. He was Italian and had a lot of businesses in the United States. However, if one really knew the identity of this middle-aged man in front of them, he was the eldest son of the Italian mafia's godfather, Vittorio Jr. If Mr. Vittorio wants to participate, I will naturally agree. I don't know if Mr. Nangong will agree, Daniel said with a smile. Guopai nodded casually. With the first person, it was easy to find the others. After a while, 4 more people walked to the gambling table. One was a young man from the Middle East, one was Japanese, one was American, and the last one was Huaxia. Mr. Nangong, it seems that this is your first time in the United States. Let me introduce these people to you. Mr. Vittorio, if you go to Italy, no matter what happens, you can contact Mr. Vittorio. He can help you, Daniel said with a smile. Mr. Nangong, although I am much older than you, after watching your cooking challenge yesterday and seeing you and Daniel bet today, I really want to make friends with you. This is my business card. If you're done in Italy, you can contact me. Vittorio smiled and handed Guopai a gold-stamped business card. Guopai smiled and took it. Mr. Abdullah Abed from the Middle East. If Mr. Nangong can beat me this time, you can go and play with Mr. Abed. If you lose, you will lose an arm and a leg. It's better not to go there. After all, it's a little hot there, Daniel said with a smile. Abed handed Guopai a business card in a friendly manner. Guopai took the business card and put on his body. He nodded at Abed. Mr. Daniel, it's 2-1 now. If you lose an arm and a leg, I think according to the current score, you'll have lost one. I didn't expect you to still be able to smile. Guopai said with a smile, this person is Japanese. You don't have to introduce him to me. How should I address this Huaxia friend? As soon as Guopai's voice fell, the Japanese man stood up suddenly and looked at Guopai with a gloomy face. However, when he looked at the smiling Huaxia beside him, he slowly sat down. Mr. Nangong Hao, haha, it's a pleasure to meet you. I know Ling Mo's grandfather, Nangong Mouse. This time, you must win. After you beat Daniel, come with me to San Francisco. Let's go to Chinatown. That's our place. The middle-aged man said with a smile, Sakata Kameji, what are you looking at? The Tiandahui doesn't want to do anything to your Yamaguchi-gumi now, but it doesn't mean that they won't in the future. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Hong Tai. Let's talk about it after we beat these guys. Hong, this is Las Vegas in the United States. I think if you suddenly disappear here, the Tiandahui can't do anything about it. Sakata Kameji squinted at Hong Tai and said, I just want to participate in this bet. Hong, don't make trouble for me, or I will make you regret it. Mr. Daniel, I hope you can win this game. I still think highly of you. Your master and I are good friends. Daniel smiled and nodded. Now the situation was clear. Sakata Kameji was definitely on Daniel's side. Hong Tai would help Guopai in the bet. As for Vittorio, Abdullah, and Abed, it was unknown who would side with them. Everyone is here. Let's start, Daniel said with a smile, but I want to change the dealer. Although I don't object to Mr. Merritt being the dealer, I still want to find a new person. The old dealer from the previous 2 games nodded with a smile. He had expected Daniel to do this. In the game, no matter what cards were used, the top 10 players of the King of Gamblers tournament will be able to hand out the cards they wanted. At this point in time, Daniel would definitely not let him be the dealer because he was from the big casino. If the Shijing casino collapsed, the biggest beneficiary would be the Las Vegas casino. Chapter 368. After Daniel finished speaking, the old dealer, Merritt, found more than a dozen girls. The girls stood in front of the crowd with excitement and nervousness. As the female dealers in the big casino usually wore revealing clothes, they attracted a lot of attention when they stood together. Mr. Minamiya, why don't you choose one of them? Daniel said with a smile. He could see that these female dealers were all new to gambling. At most, they had been in contact with gambling equipment for less than 3 months. It was difficult for them to cheat. Guopai looked at the dozen girls and chose an Asian girl. Little Ling Mo pinched Guopai hard. Guopai looked at Little Ling Mo innocently. I talked to you on the phone yesterday. She asked me to keep an eye on you. How dare you flirt with women here so brazenly? Little Ling Mo said with a pout. You were said not to flirt with foreign women in the United States. The female dealer I found this time is a Huaxia. Why did you pinch me? Guopai said even more innocently. Huaxia. I saw this woman behind you just now. She is a Japanese woman. You only know how to find women with big breasts. Little Ling Mo pinched Guopai again. Ahem, I really didn't know she was Japanese. Besides, her breasts aren't the biggest, but they look good. Guopai couldn't help but say. Daniel had already let the Japanese female dealer walk to the front of the gambling table. Koyama-chan AI is really lucky. It's a 7 billion game. No matter who wins, they just need to give her some face, and it will be enough for her to work for a lifetime. The other girl said excitedly. Koyama-chan AI was so excited that she couldn't speak. Fortunately, she had been trained for more than 2 months and gradually calmed down. Hello, everyone. I am Koyama-chan AI. I am honored to be the dealer of this gambling game. Because I've only been in contact with these things for 2 months, I hope you can forgive me if I do something wrong. After saying that, Koyama-chun AI bowed deeply. Her two big white rabbits were trembling, which made many people widen their eyes. Guopao held back and didn't look at them, but he was still pinched hard by Ling Mo. Then, Chi Dong took out a metal box. After opening it, 100 brand new poker cards were neatly placed inside. Chi Dong glanced at the 7 people at the table, and they nodded with a smile. Koyama-chun AI took out a deck of poker cards and gestured for them to check the cards. Big casino cards, I believe it, Vittorio said. The Japanese guy was very cautious. Little Japanese, you're going to cheat in front of me. I will get you out of the game first. Guopai narrowed his eyes and said. When Sakata Kameji checked the cards, Guopai saw that Sakata Kameji used a special technique. It was the technique of Qianmen. Others couldn't see it, but Guopai understood it at a glance. Guopai saw through it. When he took the cards, he directly replaced Sakata Kameji's mark on the other cards and handed them to Hong Tai with a smile. Hong Tai didn't check the cards. He directly handed them to the last American, Sears. Sears handed the cards to the dealer without looking at them. Then, $7 billion worth of chips were divided equally among the 7 people. The group of people were all stunned. These were the chips of the big casino. These chips all had special markings. No matter who got the chips from the big casino, they could come to the big casino to exchange for money. They could even take the chips to a luxury street to spend as they pleased. They would all recognize the denomination of the chips. Honorable guests, each of you has 1 billion in chips in front of you. This round of stud poker will last for 4 hours. After 4 hours, no matter how many chips you have in front of you, they will all belong to the final winner. Only Mr. Nangong and Mr. Daniel will be able to determine the winner before the final tally of the chips. Koyama-chun AI said in fluent English with a smile. The 7 people smiled and nodded. For hours, this was a big gamble. Wait, just when Koyama-chun AI was about to deal the cards, Sakata Kameji stood up. I'm not satisfied with my position. I want to change my position, or you could draw a new one. The dealer nodded slightly. His request was reasonable. Then he took out 7 dice and handed them to Vittorio, who was in the first place. It was 27 points. Abdullah Abed, 24 points. Hong Tai, 37 points. Guopai, 42 points. Sears, 35 points. Daniel, 42 points. And Sakata Kameji, 42 points. Then, the 3 of them gambled again. It was still 42 points. I'm already leading 2-0. I will let you guys choose first. Guopai said with a smile. He threw the dice again, and it was 42 points. He smiled at Daniel and Sakata Kameji. Mr. Sakata, since you want to change your position, I'll let you choose the first person choose. Daniel said with a smile. Sakata Kameji stood up and bowed deeply to them. He chose the last position. Daniel was now in the middle position. Guopai stood up and sat between the 2 of them. Sakata Kameji looked at Guopai with a hint of confusion. In theory, he should be watching Daniel. Why is he sitting next to me? However, Sakata Kameji had a plan. Since you are watching me, I will help Daniel. I will kill you first. Then, even if I lose, Daniel will give me my money. In the end, Abed sat in the first place. Vittorio sat in the second place. Sears was third, Daniel was fourth, Hong Tai was fifth, Guopai was 6th, Sakata Kameji was 7th, and Sakata Kameji was 7th. Koyama-chun AI began to deal the cards. Mr. Sakata Kameji has the biggest card. Please place your bet. Sakata Kameji had a king of spades. He threw a red chip, 1 million USD. Vittorio, Abed, and Daniel folded. Hong Tai followed with a 10 of spades. Guopai did the same without hesitation. The third card was dealt. Sakata Kameji had a king of hearts. Guopai had a 7 of diamonds and a 9 of spades. Hong Tai folded. Sakata Kameji threw a black chip, 100 billion USD. He looked at Guopai with a smile. 2 kings? What are you playing for? Guopai said. He followed with 10 million USD and took out 5 black chips. I will give you another 50 million. Deal. The audience was in a mess. A 7 and a 9 against 2 kings. 50 million US dollars was thrown out. This was a huge gamble. Luck played a huge part in winning the dice earlier. But now, luck alone wouldn't be enough to win. Sakata Tortoise's heart was blooming with joy. He had indeed marked this deck of cards. Naturally, he knew what cards he had. Although he only had a pair of kings, it was enough to beat this Huaxia guy's ace. Mr. Sakata Kameji has the biggest card. Please place your bet. Koyama-chun AI continued. There were tens of millions of USD on the table. She could not earn so much in her lifetime. Since Mr. Minamiya wants to play, I have a bigger card than you. 100 million. Sakata Kameji threw a purple chip in. 100 million it is. I have an A now, and I have an A in my hand. My 2 A's are still better than your 2 K's, right? Guopai said, and threw a purple chip in. Then he picked up 5 black chips. I will give you another 50 million. Sakata Kameji was overjoyed. 5-card stud, this guy is the best. Your pair of 7 wants to beat my pair of kings? Are you kidding me? Mr. Minamiya, since the bet is so big, why don't we play 5-card stud? Sakata Kameji narrowed his eyes. Sakata Kameji had decided that even if he did not play 5-card stud, he could still win a lot this time. There is one more card. 5-card stud. Guopai said and pushed all the money on the table into the gambling table. Chapter 369. The whole casino was in an uproar. This Huaxia was to their liking. He was a gambler through and through. This was the feeling they wanted. However, the most excited person now was Sakata Kameji. $1 billion in one go. This money was too easy to win. He only had to play a small trick on the cards, and the money was his. Haha, Mr. Minamiya, since it's 5-card stud, I'll play with you. While speaking, Sakata Kameji pushed the chips in front of him, which were more than Guopau's, to the center. Then, he flipped over his trump card. My trump card is not a king, but 2 kings are more than enough to beat you. Just as Guopai played 5-card stud, the other people at the table were stunned. They never thought that the Huaxia would play 5-card stud in the first round. What was even more unexpected was that the Japanese also played 5-card stud. What was going on? The corners of Vittorio's mouth curled up into a smile. This was great. The 7 people had become 6. But no matter how he looked at it, he felt that it was better to eliminate this Japanese. Compared to him, the Chinese in front of him was more pleasing to the eye. Of course, Abed and Hong Tai had the same idea. However, it seemed that Minamiya was at a disadvantage now. Sakata Kameji, do you know how to gamble? I have an ace in my hand now. The other players didn't play an ace in their second hand. The possibility of me having 2 aces is very high. You play 5-card stud with your cards like this. Are you stupid? Guopai was more direct. However, Sakata Kameji was not angry at all. Anyway, I won this round. Huaxia, hurry up and show your cards. You have an ace and a 1-7. You will lose for sure. Daniel looked at the 2 cards in Guopai's hand. He couldn't help but want to slap Sakata Kameji. Idiot, absolute idiot. If you have 3 kings, I won't say anything. Why are you so excited with 2 kings? Daniel's face was heavy. The next round of gambling was not going to be easy. Mr. Nangong, show me your trump card. You'll know who's the idiot in a while. Sakata Kameji said excitedly. Guopai picked up his 2 trump cards and looked at them carefully. Sakata Kameji looked at Guopai's expression and became even more excited. Mr. Minamiya, let's see your trump card. Sakata Kameji laughed as he stood up. Holding a black chip in his hand, Guopai's expression told him that he would definitely win this round. Inside this match, Guopai could not help but shake his head. Even Daniel was stunned. One of the remaining 2 cards was an ace. Why did Huaxia have such an expression? Ha, this feels great. This billion came so easily. As he spoke, Sakata Kameji pulled all the chips on the table in front of him and stacked them neatly. The dealer, who had always been strict, couldn't help but admire the strictness of the Japanese. Beautiful dealer, this is for you. Please ask Mr. Minamiya, who has no chips, to leave. We can continue now. As Sakata Kameji spoke, he threw a 1 million chip to Koyama-chun AI. However, Koyama-chun AI did not accept it because this Mr. Minamiya from Huaxia had not shown his last 2 trump cards. Mr. Sakata, thank you for arranging the chips for me. You can push them to me now. As for the tip you gave me, I'm really sorry. Before my wife went abroad, she said that money can't be spent on foreign women. I'll have to trouble you to bring them to me." As he spoke, Guopai flipped his cards. There was an ace and a 4. However, this did not affect the overall situation. A pair of aces against a pair of kings. Guopai won. This is impossible. It's obviously a 7 and a 4. How can it be an ace? Huaxia, you cheated. Sakata Kameji suddenly stood up and roared loudly. Idiot, haha, what an idiot. This Japanese is too interesting. But looking at his movements of placing the chips, just now he's quite skilled. I can let him work in the casino, haha. Someone in the audience laughed, and then a group of people followed suit. Yu who was far away in Huaxia, was even more amused by Guopai's words. That's more like it. How dare you fool around outside? Let's see how I'll deal with you. Mr. Sakata, please put the chips in the middle. These chips are Mr. Minamiya's. Also, you have no chips. I'm sorry. You can leave the table. Koyama-chan AI said with a smile, but her smile was obviously unnatural. She could feel that if this Huaxia won in the end, she wouldn't get a big red packet like those sisters said. But now, no matter how she looked at this Huaxia, he didn't seem so annoying. Koyama-chan AI was very conflicted. This is impossible. Illusion? It must be an illusion. I obviously won. Sakata Kameji roared loudly. Before he finished speaking, several big men had already pulled him to a lounge. Baka Baka, an old man among a few Japanese people who were watching the live broadcast on Mount Fuji, shouted loudly. He was the head of the Yamaguchi Gumi in Japan. This time, Sakata Kameji took a $1 billion gamble. He didn't expect Sakata Kameji to directly use 2 kings to fight against Rinshuaha in the first round. Shame, the Japanese's face was completely lost by this guy. Mr. Yamamoto, I have already told team leader Kyoto, Sakata Kameji will commit suicide to apologize. A middle-aged man bowed his head and said to the old man, Baka, find out the details of this Huaxia boy for me. I won't let him leave the United States alive. I will use his life to restore the dignity of our great Japanese empire. The old man said loudly. The middle-aged man quickly left. Sakata Kameji was pulled away. Several people looked at the chips in front of Guopai. 1 billion became 2 billion. It was that simple. Ahem, I think we can continue. I really didn't expect a pair of aces to play Rinshuaha with Mr. Sakata. Ha! Mr. Sakata's gambling skills are really not complimentary. Guopai said with a smile. Hong Tai also laughed, but the other 4 people didn't have any expression. Everyone, if no one needs to rest, let's start the second round. Koyama-chan AI said with a smile. Several people nodded and a new deck of cards was opened. They didn't need to check the cards. Koyama-chan AI skillfully shuffled the cards. Guopai didn't deliberately memorize the cards because he didn't need to. Daniel also didn't memorize the cards because he didn't need to. Vittorio and Abed also didn't memorize the cards because they couldn't remember at all. However, the other American, Sears, did indeed focus on the cards in Koyama-chan AI's hand. Guopai suddenly looked at Sears. This person had an aura that made him uncomfortable, but he couldn't tell who it was. At this time, the dealer had already started to deal the cards. Mr. Minamiya, please place your bet. This time, Guopai's luck was not bad. He got an ace of hearts. However, Guopai already knew what card he would get if the cards were dealt normally. He also knew what card Daniel would get. He couldn't help but shake his head and fold directly. This made the group of people stare at him with their eyes wide open. Brother Minamiya, such a good card and you folded. I won't play with you. After saying that, Hong Tai also folded, followed by Vittorio and Abed. Sears thought for a while and also folded. Daniel's face was black. If they dared to follow this round, he would definitely win. If there was someone else who followed with Rinshuaha, his chips would be more than Huaxia's. Unfortunately, everyone folded. Chapter 370. Guopai was happy to see everyone fold. It felt good to make Daniel suffer. However, the next few rounds made Guopai feel uncomfortable. Whenever Guopai had a good hand, Daniel would fold. As long as Daniel folded, the others would not bet heavily. After more than an hour, Guopai's chips did not increase much, and so did Daniel's chips. As for the other four, Sears had won more than $200 million. Daniel was losing his cool. If this continued, he would not be able to outnumber the Chinese. He would not only lose 1 billion USD, but he would also lose 10 billion USD, an arm, and a leg that they had previously lost. Fold. Koyama-chun, AI, played her cards, and Guopao folded his cards. This time, Daniel narrowed his eyes. His bottom card was a 3, and with a 3 in his hand, he would be given 2 3s. Looking at the other people, he found that their cards were not bad. Daniel knew that his chance had come. Sears had the biggest hand. He could almost guess that he would have at least a pair of aces this time. This round was indeed very risky. 10 million. Sears threw in a black chip. Hee, Mr. Minamiya, it's a pity that you don't play this round. I still want to win some money from you, Vittorio said with a smile. 10 million. Then Hong Tai and Abed followed suit. The second card was shown. Sears narrowed his eyes. He had 3 aces. Although he did not know what Daniel's hand was, he wanted to gamble. He directly threw in a purple chip. Abed looked at their bids. He was also in a pair, but after thinking for a while, he folded his cards. Vittorio directly followed for 100 million. He had a straight, so there was no need for him to not follow. Hong Tai also followed. He had a flush. There were no 3 of a kind outside. Even if there were 3 of a kind, they would still win. When the fourth card was dealt, Vittorio threw in 200 million and looked at them with a smile. Although he didn't remember the cards at the beginning, he seemed to remember that the card he needed to get a straight would be in his hand. Daniel's card was a 3 of a kind 3. Hong Tai and Sears looked at each other thoughtfully. I'm in. It's also 3 of a kind. My cards are bigger than Mr. Daniel's. Since Mr. Daniel is in, there's no need for me to fold. With that, Sears threw in 200 million worth of chips. Hong Tai thought about it, and also threw in 200 million worth of chips. All 3 of you are in. I have a flush. There's no reason for me not to follow. Hee, let's play big this time. I'm going all in. When Vittorio got his last card, he immediately went for a straight. Although it wasn't a straight flush, it was enough to win a triple flush. Vittorio, are you trying to steal the chicken? Sears squinted and said, hoping to see some flaws in Vittorio's actions. However, they were all veterans in the casino, and Vittorio didn't show any flaws. 5 card, I'm in. Since you want to play, I'll play with you, Sears said and pushed all the chips in front of him. Daniel smiled and pushed all his chips to the center. All 3 of them went all in. Hong Tai couldn't help but look at his cards again. If what Sears said is true, and Vittorio is trying to steal the chicken, then I have the biggest flush now. If that's the case, I'll definitely win this time. In the end, no matter if I win or Nangong Hao wins, the biggest winner will be Huaxia. Just as Hong Tai was about to push out his chips, a voice rang out in his ears. You're right. Brother Hong, don't be impulsive. Daniel has a 4-3. If you play 5 card, I'm afraid I won't be able to beat him in the last 2 hours. The voice naturally came from Guopai. Hong Tai was stunned and looked at Guopai in disbelief. Telepathy. It was the telepathy recorded in the ancient records of the Hong sect. Didn't they say that even psychics couldn't use telepathy? Then how did he hear it? Hong Tai looked at his cards and then looked at Guopai. Guopai was looking at him with a smile. Hong Tai made up his mind and folded. Daniel also looked at Guopai. He couldn't win Hong Tai's money, but he could win Vittorio and Sears. He had 3 billion in chips. As long as he played the rest of the game well, he would definitely win this game. Mr. Hong folded. Now, Mr. Vittorio, Mr. Sears, and Mr. Daniel, please show your cards. Koyama-chun said with a smile. This time, it wasn't that stingy Huaxia who had won. Maybe one of the 3 would give her some bonus. Mr. Sears, I'm sorry, but I have a straight. I have a 3-1 bigger than you. Vittorio was the first to see Hill's cards. 3 aces. Compared to Hill, he had 1. He began to look forward to Daniel revealing his trump card. Regardless of whether he won or lost in the end, as long as he could beat Hill, he would be able to beat Daniel as well. As the gambling king's disciple, Vittorio became excited as he thought about it. Mr. Daniel, If you only have a 3-3, then I'm sorry, but all the chips are mine, Vittorio said with a smile. He wouldn't collect the chips like Sakata Tortoise. When Daniel showed his cards, someone would help him collect the chips. I'm sorry, but I don't have a triple of 3. I have a quadruple of 3. If you had a straight flush, I would have lost to you. However, you can't beat me with a straight. As he spoke, Daniel revealed his trump card. It was a triple of diamonds. A quadruple of 3. Amazing, really amazing. No wonder you are Dennis' apprentice. I admit defeat. Vittorio stood up and applauded after a brief moment of absent-mindedness. $1 billion was nothing to him, but today's gambling was indeed very satisfying. Sears, let's go down and have a drink. I'm sorry, but I won your 3 aces with a straight. Haha, I thought you were stealing the chicken. I didn't expect you to have a straight, but it's useless to win against me. You lost to Daniel, so we have no money. Let's go and have a drink. The two laughed and left the table. Koyama-chun AI pushed all the bets in front of Daniel. 6 billion. Daniel's chips were now the first. Beautiful girl, thank you for your good luck. This is for you. After saying that, Daniel flicked his finger and a black chip fell on Koyama-chun AI's chest. Koyama-chun AI blushed and stuffed the chip into her clothes, causing a group of female dealers who were watching the video to scream. 10 million. That was 10 million US dollars. They would never be able to earn so much money, even if they worked here for the rest of their lives. What a show-off. Good brother, come on. Win all the money from that show-off, including his hands and legs. Let's see if he can still be show-off. Nangong Lingma said in a low voice. The few people around him laughed. Guo raised his head and looked at Daniel. Interesting. Beautiful girl, I need to take a break. Let's start in 15 minutes. Hong Tai suddenly stood up and said. He looked at everyone and nodded, then walked straight into the lounge. Guanati smiled and followed him into the lounge. Daniel looked at Abed, and the two of them also went into the lounge. Everyone, please wait a moment. The rest of the game will start in 15 minutes. Chapter 371. Hong Tai walked into the lounge. Although his expression was relaxed, he had been thinking a lot along the way. If it weren't for Nangong Hao's reminder, he would have been eliminated along with Vittorio and Sears. Although he still had less than 700 million in chips, he could at least continue to play for a while. Brother, thank you. No matter if you win or lose today's bet, the Hong sect will protect you. Don't worry, Hong Tai said with a smile. It was his grandfather who told him to participate in this bet. Although he didn't know why his grandfather valued this young man so much, there must be a reason. Brother Hong, why are you thanking me? Haha, Guopai said with a smile. Daniel narrowed his eyes and looked at the two. It seemed that Hong Tai's loss of 5 cards in the end had something to do with Nangong Hao. Hong Tai naturally understood what Guopai meant. He didn't say anything. He ordered a cup of coffee and closed his eyes to think about his grandfather's last words. Help Nangong Hao win the game. If he couldn't, he would lose the money to him. 15 minutes later, they returned to the table. Hong Tai looked at Guopai and had a conclusion in his heart. The first few rounds had been lukewarm. Guopai and Daniel didn't move, and Hong Tai and Abed didn't take the initiative to steal the chicken. They folded when their cards were bad. Daniel smiled. If this continued, he would have more money than Huaxia. He would win this game. 10 million. No one wants to play? Guopai said with a smile. He had a good hand in this game. He also knew that if this continued, he would lose this game. Brother, I'll play with you. With that said, Hong Tai did not even look at his own trump card. He directly threw in $10 million. Daniel folded his cards, and Abed did not have more than $500 million on him. This time, his cards were not bad, so he also threw in $10 million. At this time, Daniel frowned. If Huaxia was forced to play 5 cards, then Huaxia's chips would exceed his, and he would be in a passive position. The dealer dealt the 4th card. Daniel already knew that Guopai had 3 of a kind in the end. He would definitely win the other 2. It depended on whether he would play 5-card stud or not. The 5th card was dealt. Hong Tai had the biggest hand, but Abed also had a chance to win. Guopai had the smallest hand. Tai looked at Guo Pai's smiling face and directly played 5-card stud. Everyone was surprised. If Huaxia followed, it would be interesting. I'm also playing 5-card stud. I'm tired. If I win, I can play against Dennis's disciple. If I lose, I'm just here to play. Abed said with a smile. What was rich and overbearing? This was rich and overbearing. $1 billion was just playing. At this time, Daniel's face was completely ugly. He was originally confident of winning, but now he was directly overtaken. However, there was still an hour left. He was afraid that Huaxia wouldn't follow in the remaining hour. If he lost, not only would he lose this game, but he would also lose the best-of-5 game between him and Huaxia. He would lose $10 billion to Huaxia, and of course his hands and legs. Thinking about it, Daniel narrowed his eyes. Mr. Nangong Hao has won with 3 of kind. Mr. Hong Tai, Mr. Abed, you have no chips in front of you. Please leave the table. Chun Ai Koyama said with a smile. Looking at the chips in front of Guo Pai, Chun Ai Koyama didn't have the slightest intention of giving out red packets. Chun Ai Koyama couldn't say anything. After all, it depended on his mood. Mr. Daniel, it seems that I have more chips than you now. There's less than an hour left before this competition ends. According to my current chips, I only lose to you every time. I'm afraid you'll lose this time. Guo Pai narrowed his eyes and said. Daniel's face was full of helplessness. But you can rest assured that I won't do that. I will let you lose wholeheartedly. Dealer, deal the cards. I will have a fair game with Mr. Daniel. As soon as Guo Pai's voice fell, the whole gambling hall was in an uproar. Bad guy, you are really good at pretending. This is a game that you're sure to win, but you still put on such a noble look. You were said with a pout. The beauties in the room also laughed. Daniel stood up and nodded at Guo Pai. Let's compete in gambling skills. Chun Ai Koyama dealt the cards. Guo Pai could feel that Daniel didn't use his X-ray vision these few times. He was purely memorizing the cards and gambling with his real ability. Since you want to play like this, I will play with you. Daniel didn't use his X-ray vision, and Guo Pai didn't use his immortal power. The two of them had a fair game. Mr. Minamiya, your cards are not small this time. Do you want to have a try? Daniel had an ace, and so did Guo Pai. Just when the dealer was shuffling the cards, the two of them influenced each other. Neither of them heard the last few cards clearly. Then let's decide the winner with this game. Guo Pai said with a smile. In a game like this, if you lose, you lose. I like a fair game. Chun Ai Koyama continued to deal the cards. The ace was against the king, and the rest of them each had a queen. Now, it was time to compete with the trump cards. The enemy cards, the real enemy cards. Mr. Minamiya, I really didn't expect that we would have to gamble with our trump cards this time. I wonder if my luck will be better this time. Daniel said with a smile. You shouldn't bully my people, but it's too late to say anything now. Remember, this little girl's name is Nangong Lingma. Remember my name. My name is Guo Pao. We are all Huaxia people. Guo Pai looked at Daniel and transmitted his voice. Daniel was completely stunned. A mutant from Huaxia. Moreover, he had already reached the realm of transmitting his voice. Daniel couldn't help but look at Guo Pai. Lose. It was very likely that he would lose. No, I won't lose. If I lose this time, I will lose everything. Daniel shouted loudly in his heart. He was also a mutant. His teacher, Dennis, only knew that Daniel had the ability to see through things. However, there was another ability that Dennis didn't know about. Mr. Minamiya, I want to take a break. If I lose this time, I am afraid that I will not be able to gamble in the future. I want to savor this game. Daniel said with a smile. Guo Pai also smiled and nodded. Daniel had lost, completely lost. His thoughts were immediately discovered by Guo Pai. Since you want to cheat, I will accompany you. Both of them stood up at the same time and walked to the lounge. The casino was once again in an uproar. Who will win? Guess who will win? I didn't expect it to be the enemy cards. The crowd was talking about it. They must have remembered their trump cards at the beginning. Why do they need to take a break? They could just play it and be done with it. Seer said with a smile. The crowd nodded. 15 minutes later, Guo Pai and Daniel walked out of the lounge at the same time. Dennis's hand was tapping on the gambling table. Many gambling kings had all kinds of habits. Naturally, the others didn't say anything. However, Guopai had already seen through it. Mr. Minamiya, please reveal your card. The two of them sat down, and Koyama-chan said with a smile. Guopai smiled and revealed his trump card. It was a 4 of diamonds. It was actually a 4 of diamonds. Guopai, who was smiling, suddenly stood up with a look of disbelief. He then looked at Daniel. Mr. Minamiya, is your card wrong? I really didn't expect your trump card to be so small. I win this round, Daniel said as he revealed his trump card. Chapter 372. Daniel flipped over his bottom card. Everyone in the casino and those who were watching the live broadcast widened their eyes. This was the real enemy's card. Beautiful dealer, please announce the winner. Mr. Minamiya and I still have 2 more games to play, Daniel said with a smile. Mr. Minamiya has 4 of diamonds, and Mr. Daniel has 3 of spades. Mr. Minamiya wins this round, Koyama said softly. Koyama-chan AI said softly. The corner of Guopau's mouth curled up into a smile. Daniel's expression changed all of a sudden. The complacent look on his face had completely disappeared. How could this be possible? The card in his hand was clearly a 5 of spades. I'm really sorry. It's a little too big. These chips are mine. Also, I don't think there's a need for the game you mentioned. It's 3-0. I win. Guopai pulled all the chips in front of him and squinted at Daniel. Only Guopai and Daniel knew what had happened just now. Daniel's other supernatural ability was very similar to that of a person. Guopai was the person who appeared in the literary competition at Takashi University affiliated high school. He was much more powerful than Xiahou Tian in the dream world. When he asked for a 15-minute break, he had already brought Guopai into the dream world and changed his cards in front of countless people. However, his opponent this time was Guopai, a banished immortal from the heavenly court. He had no complaints about his loss. At this time, Daniel still didn't realize why he had lost the game. Not only this game, but also the best of 5 game between him and Guopai. He couldn't lose. He couldn't afford to lose. If he lost, he would lose his hands and legs. Is it still the same move? Around the gambling table, there was a clamor of voices. Daniel looked at Guopao. At this moment, Guopao was still looking at Daniel calmly. You shouldn't have won. Now I want to know how you changed my cards just now. The last card in my hand was a 5 of spades, Daniel said with a smile. He was confident. He had enough confidence. This Huaxia in front of him had already entered his dream world. How could he not be confident? The same way you changed my card, I changed yours. What's there to talk about? You went to the lounge with me to bring me into your dream, right? Guopai smiled and said, your ability is very interesting. Although I don't know how you did it. Such a dream is not difficult for me. You know this is my dream? Daniel was stunned. He had never shown this ability in front of anyone, not even to his most trusted master. How did this Huaxia person know about it? Why was he so fearless? Could it be that he had the same ability as him? Originally, I only wanted to cripple one of your arms and one of your legs. Now, I'm afraid it won't be that simple. Speak. What is your relationship with that person? How do you have his legacy? Guopai narrowed his eyes and said. Now, things were no longer as simple as a bet. Was there a need to explain more about a dream? Who else could have such a special ability other than that dream devil? I don't know what you mean. If you also have the ability to create dreams, then we should be the same kind of people. Back then, the secret book said that there would be many people with the same ability as me. We should be friends. Let's go out and forget about today's matter, Daniel said tentatively. This Huaxia person in front of him was too strange. What a big move. It turns out that Lord Dream Devil played such a big game of chess back then. Guopai smiled and said, remember, I am not the same kind of person as the person who gave you the secret book. I'll let you know what is a dream and what is reality. With that, Guopai waved his hand, and the two of them reappeared in the casino hall. He lost. Daniel lost. The crowd began to discuss. Many people found it hard to believe that the person who won in the end was actually Huaxia. Lao Si, you scare me to death. In a high-end club in Huaxia, Jia Yuan and Li Yao sat together. Jia Yuan wiped the sweat off his forehead and said, ever since Daniel won 2 billion, Jia Yuan had been a little nervous. Now it was 3-0. It was a complete victory, and he was ready to collect the money. Impossible. How could it be? How could Daniel lose to that Huaxia? It's over. Shijing Casino is over. It's all over. At the highest level of Shijing Casino, Gypsy seemed to have aged a few years. According to the bet of 1-3, he would have to pay tens of billions of dollars. It's over. It's all over. Damn it. It must be a conspiracy by Shijing Casino. Gypsy and his nephew directed a conspiracy. It's all over. I've lost $5 million. I've lost all the money I've won from gambling for a few months. A middle-aged man shouted loudly. Then, a group of people echoed. Everyone, please quiet down. If you've placed a bet on Shijing Casino, please go to Shijing Casino. This is a big casino. We have other things to do. If you don't want to stay in the big casino, you can leave now. Qidong looked at the rioting crowd, stood up, and said loudly. At this time, the group of people suddenly remembered that the gambling was not over yet. The huge gamble they had just seen was just a part of a gambling game. The good show seemed to have just begun. Guopai neatly stacked the chips. He held a purple chip in his hand and threw it to Qidong. Then, he looked at Daniel without blinking. Mr. Qidong, this $100 million can be considered as the venue fee for today's Grand Casino. Of course, shouldn't my bet with Daniel be over by now? If there's an explanation, it's time for us to settle the score, Gui said with an evil smile. Brother Nangong, please answer the phone. Mr. West is looking for you. Qidong took the chip and was very excited. Although he was not sure of money, this was $100 million. It was almost the same as his net worth. Who would care about having more money? Haha, Brother Nangong, congratulations first. I bet $10 billion on you. You've earned a lot, and so have I. Haha. West said with a smile, I've decided. I'll give you all the $20 billion I won. Mr. West, you're too polite. If you have anything to say, just say it. I haven't finished my business here, Guopai said with a smile. Brother, can you give the casino some face? I'll give you all the money that Daniel lost, but I hope you can leave his hands and legs behind. There's an old saying in Huaxia that goes, forgive and forget, right? West said with a smile. Mr. West, you're putting me in a difficult position. You should know that this is too much. I have to give my little sister Ling Mo an explanation. Guopai said with a smile. What a joke. Don't talk about his hands and legs. I want his life now. Brother Nangong, wait a moment. A friend of mine wants to talk to you first. West said and handed the phone to a middle-aged man in his 40s. If there were people in Las Vegas who did not know this man, then he had never been to Las Vegas. His photo was everywhere. He was the winner of the recent Las Vegas King of Gamblers competition, Dennis. Chapter 373. Hello, Huaxia. I'm Dick Dennis. Although you haven't seen me before, I'm sure you've heard of my name, a man on the other end of the phone said with a hint of arrogance. Gambling King Dennis? Haha, I've heard of your name. I'm Nangong Hao. I just won against your disciple, and we're discussing how to break his legs and hands. Can you give me a suggestion? Guopai said with a smile. His voice was not soft, so Daniel naturally heard it. His face turned red. Even his dream couldn't do anything to this Huaxia. He already knew that he was done for this time. Huaxia, you came to Las Vegas for nothing more than money. I'll give you 5% of the casino's shares in exchange for Daniel's legs and hands. You won't lose out in this deal, right? Dennis said arrogantly. It's too much. But I'm sorry, I'm not sure of money. I originally wanted to let Daniel live, but your voice makes me very uncomfortable. If you can respectfully call me good master, I can consider your deal. Guopai said loudly. The whole casino fell silent. Dennis, the god in their hearts, actually dared to talk to him in this way. You think you're superior to others? In fact, you're nothing in my eyes. If you want to save your disciple, you'll have to learn the culture of Huaxia. We don't bully others, but we also don't spoil those who bully us. I'll let you know that I'm not a gentleman. Whoever has a grudge against me, I'll take revenge on the spot. Guopai said loudly. The Huaxia people who were watching the video were all excited. Some of them also bet on Daniel's victory. Although Nangong Hao made them lose money, it was a comfortable loss. Huaxia, think carefully. This is Las Vegas. You're going too far, Dennis said with a black face. Daniel, did you hear what your master said? Your hands and legs are worth 5% of the casino's shares. That's a lot. Guopai put the phone on speaker mode and said to Daniel. Daniel couldn't hold it in any longer. Now that he heard Guopai's words, he spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Huaxia, you will regret this. Just you wait, Dennis shouted when he saw Daniel faint in the video. Guopai narrowed his eyes and said, Then I beg you to let me regret this once, Dennis. Remember, you should change your tone when you ask for help. Also, Dennis has fainted. I will take his hands and legs. Do you still want to watch me take his hands and legs? Bastard, how dare you? Dennis shouted. Then, Guopai stepped in front of Daniel, who was lying on the ground, and pressed a few acupuncture points on his body. Then, he stretched out his right hand and quickly chopped at Daniel's palm. Then, he turned around and chopped at Daniel's right thigh. A pool of blood spurted out. Guopai had already returned to his seat. Everyone's eyes widened again. Was this Huaxia a human or a devil? He actually used his palm to chop off Daniel's wrist and thigh. Watch carefully, Mr. Dennis. I'm a man of my words. If you want to find trouble with me, come at me. If you want to gamble with me, I will accompany you at any time, Guopai said and directly handed the phone to Qidong. Then, he pulled Nangong Lingma away from the gambling table. Brother Qi, please help me change the chips on the table into cash and transfer it to my bank card. Also, I will have to trouble Brother Qi with the 10 billion US dollars bet that Daniel made with me. Mr. West, I know you're watching. I have caused you some trouble at the big casino today. In a few days, I will come and apologize to you. As for Mr. Dennis, I am looking forward to gambling with you. Ha! After saying that, Guopai and Nangong Lingma walked out of the hotel. Handsome, so handsome. My idol. Mr. Nangong Hao will be my idol from now on. Huaxia and the other teenagers said loudly. In less than an hour, the number of fans on the I Love Nangong Hao Tieba had exceeded 10 million. Of course, Guopai, who had just finished showing off, naturally didn't know about it. Brother Yao, I'm going to Las Vegas to collect money and find Lao Si. Awesome, really awesome. Haha, I want to see the group of Yuan International shareholders now. Their expressions will definitely be very rich. Haha. Jia Yuan laughed and said, 34 billion US dollars had now become 100 billion US dollars. Yuan International had really entered the international market this time. I will go too. The matter in America hasn't been settled yet. I will go there to take revenge. Li Yao said with a smile. Lao Si, you are really F***ing awesome. F***ck. Huaxia, just you wait. I will let you know the consequences of offending me. After saying that, Dennis, who was on vacation in Hawaii, smashed the global limited edition mobile phone in his hand into pieces. Vanessa, contact the Angel Council for me. I want them to kill this Huaxia. Also, get someone to send Daniel to the best hospital. Make sure his arms and legs are reconnected. After Dennis finished speaking, a blonde beauty in a bikini disappeared on the deck of a luxurious yacht. Little girl, how was it? Brother has avenged you today, right? Guopai said with a smile as he held little Lingma's hand. The two of them had already arrived at the Hilton Hotel. When they entered the hotel, they were greeted by many people along the way. Guopai had completely conquered a country that believed in heroism. Brother Nangong, you are amazing. You are really amazing. I've already told all the chefs here that when you go back to Huaxia, we will go back with you. At that time, we will have to trouble Brother Nangong to find us a job in Huaxia, Pao Long said with a smile. Guopai smiled and nodded. He suddenly remembered that when he first met Yu in the human world, Yu had said that she would open a private restaurant in Huaxia. She would only cook one meal a day, and each meal would cost 100 million US dollars. Haha, if he could really get these 3 Michelin star chefs to come to China, this private restaurant would really open. Mr. Nangong, there's a Mr. Hong Tai outside looking for you. Do you want to let him in? A few chefs and Guopao had prepared a table of food. As they were enjoying the food, a waiter walked over and whispered to them, Sir, you've got a lot of food. Hong Tai, let him in, Guopai said with a smile. He originally wanted to find the grandson of the Hong Sec's big boss in a few days. He did not expect that Hong Tai would come directly. This saved him a lot of trouble. Hong Tai was led by the waiter to the small dining room next to the kitchen where the chef sat. He walked over with a smile. Looking at the delicious food on the table, Hong Tai did not stand on ceremony. He took a stool and a set of tableware from the sideboard and sat beside Guo Pai. He had seen these chefs before. They were all 3 Michelin star chefs. He had never thought of eating with these chefs before. "Brother Hong, why don't you tell me what you want first? Why did you sit down and start eating?" Guo Pai said with a smile. "Ahem, Brother Nangong, I lost $1 billion to you today. I haven't eaten anything all morning. Let me eat something first. I will tell you later." Hong Tai's mouth was stuffed with food, so he spoke vaguely, which made the group of chefs burst into laughter. "Ahem, sorry, I am really hungry. This is my business card. I am the general manager of the Ford sales department. If you want to buy a car, you can come to me. If someone bullies you in the United States, you can also come to me," Hong Tai said with a smile. Mark and the others did not understand what he meant, but Pao Long recognized the man in front of him. "Brother Hong, you are one of the 7 branches of the Hong sect. May I know which branch you are from?" Pao Long said as he cupped his fist and asked Hong Tai. "Brother, you are also from the Hong sect." Chapter 374. When Hong Tai said that he was the general manager of the sales department of Ford, the others didn't understand what it meant. As a member of the Hong sect, he naturally knew that although Ford was a foreign company on the surface, the Hong sect had fully controlled Ford 20 years ago. Otherwise, it would be impossible to let a Hua Xia be the general manager of the sales department. Haha, I really didn't expect that the best chef in the United States is also a member of the Hong sect. "Brother Pao Long, I'm a waiter. May I know which hall you are from?" Hong Tai asked with a smile. "When I was young, I stayed with Hall Master Lu for a while in the auditorium," Pao Long said with a smile. Since they were all from the Hong sect, the atmosphere suddenly became more intimate. The other chefs had a very good relationship with Pao Long, and almost all knew that Pao Long had stayed in the Hong sect before. Mark and Anthony volunteered to cook a few more dishes, and the group of people ate happily. "Brother Nangong, where did you learn your gambling skills from? Today you offended Dennis. This guy is a very vengeful person. Why don't you and the little girl come with me to San Francisco? Dennis can't do anything there," Hong Tai said with a smile. His grandfather had told him several times that he must protect Guo Pai's safety, so Hong Tai naturally had to do it. "Brother Hong, I appreciate your kindness, but this time I came to the United States to participate in the special ability martial arts competition, so I can only stay in Las Vegas for now. When the martial arts competition is over, I'll take the little girl to San Francisco to find you," Guo Pai said with a smile. He didn't know why this brother of the Hong sect was so concerned about him. After they were full, Guo Pai was about to return to the hotel room when the phone rang. It was a call from Hua Xia. Guo Pai was stunned. This time he came to the United States, except for his woman and brothers. He didn't tell anyone who was calling. Guo Pai shook his head and picked it up. "Hello, who is this?" Guo Pai asked softly. "Little bad. It's really hard for me to find you. If Xianyuan Xiongfeng didn't tell me that you were in the United States, I really didn't know. This time you did a good job. You showed the cooking skills of Hua Xia, and the gambling competition also strengthened the momentum of Hua Xia." Guo Pai had already recognized who it was. It was Master Yufeng. "Master, it's just a small matter. I don't know what's the matter." Guo Pai said that Hong sect's Hong sect. He is a member of the Hong sect. I have some connections with his grandfather. You made a lot of noise in the United States this time. Xianyuan Xiongfeng and I both think that someone in the United States will harm you. It's easy to dodge a spear in the open, but hard to guard against a stab in the dark. The supernatural ability martial arts competition will take place in more than 20 days. You can go to San Francisco with him for a while. That's the headquarters of the Hong sect. The Americans won't dare to mess around there. Master Yufeng said that. Since you said so, I will take little Ling Mo to San Francisco for a few days. Thank you, Master. Please thank the old man of the Xianyuan family for me. Why go back to the capital? I will definitely go to his family to thank him in person. Master, don't go to the capital recently. I have recently divined that it's better for you to stay in Wu Castle, Guo Pai said with a smile. The two chatted for a while, and Master Yufeng said a few words. Guopai hung up the phone. Hong Tai also hung up the phone and walked to Guopai with a smile. Brother Nangong, I just received a call from home saying that you agreed to go back to San Francisco with me. Why don't we rest tonight and leave early tomorrow morning? Hong Tai said with a smile. Just do as Brother Hong says. After Guopai finished speaking, he took Little Ling Mo back to the hotel room. San Francisco. Anyway, he planned to open a clinic in the United States in the future. He would just take it as an exploration. Bad guy brother, why are we going to San Francisco? I just finished my business in Las Vegas. I still want to have some fun. Little Ling Mo pouted and said, we are rich now. I have to spend more money. Sister Yuer said that I have to spend all your money so that you don't fool around outside. Ahem, little girl, you come out with me now. Don't always use Sister Yuer to suppress me. If you don't obey, I will go back to Huaxia. Guopai said with his eyes wide open. He wanted to scare this little girl and let her understand that the master had the final say in this family. Even the first wife had to listen to the master. Bad guy brother, you are really amazing. Do you now have the feeling that you are a general in a foreign country who can't obey the orders of the army? I said that if you dare to provoke those who have not fully evolved, don't even think about touching us when you come back. Guopai looked at Little Ling Mo's mobile phone that was on speaker, and he was speechless. The mobile phone had been on all the time. Now the little girl had been led astray by Yuer. Yuer's wife, listen to what you were saying. My trip to San Francisco this time was arranged by Master Yufeng. This time, I made such a big fuss in Las Vegas. I am fine with it, but I am afraid that it will be disadvantageous to Little Ling Mo. As for women, you can ask Little Ling Mo. Let alone foreign horses. I haven't even ridden Asian-Japanese horses. Guopai looked at the group of girls surrounding Yuer on the other end of the mobile phone and said with a smile, that's more like it. You must pay attention to your safety in the United States. If something really happens, find a safe place to stay. I will save you. Yuer said softly. Although Guopai was now a master in the enlightening stage and ordinary weapons couldn't hurt Guopai, it didn't mean that no one could cure him. Guopai chatted with Yuer again and chatted with several other girls. Finally, he signed a bunch of unequal treaties before giving up. Hey, what's the use of those bags? They can't be eaten. Wait for me to go back, and I will make a few bags for you. They are definitely much better than those donkey bags. Guopai hung up the phone and whispered. After a long day, he was a little tired. Since he promised to go to San Francisco tomorrow, Guopai was ready to have a good sleep today. Bad guy brother, why do I feel a little uneasy? Why don't I not go tomorrow? In the middle of the night, Little Ling Mo woke up Guopai and said with sleepy eyes, uneasy. When Guopai heard Little Ling Mo say these words, he glanced out of the window and then couldn't help but curse. He directly took out Lao Juan's gourd and put Little Ling Mo in it. Then, he held his mind and hid behind the table that he had just turned over. A bomb was shot directly into the room. A heat wave shook Guopai several meters away. Damn, they actually used a bomb. This is Las Vegas. Who has the guts to do this? Guopai scolded again. His eyes caught sight of two black-clothed men on a building a kilometer away. Looks like I won't be able to leave tomorrow. I've said it before. Whoever has a grudge against me, I'll take revenge on the spot. After saying that, Guopai disappeared from the room. Connor, did you kill that Huaxia? On a tall building a kilometer away, a man in black asked another man in black. Damn, what do you think? He was shot by a bomb at such a close distance. Do you think he is dead or not? When the bomb hit him, there was nothing left. If he is still alive, then he must be Superman. Connor laughed and said, Descartes, clean up this guy. I think your Uncle Tim Hilton will be busy in a while. Let's go and join the fun, huh? If you want to go, you go. I'm not going. Since Huaxia is dead, let Dennis fulfill his promise. Chapter 375. How much did Dennis pay for Huaxia's life? In the dark, a fluent English sentence sounded in their ears. $1 billion. Kadir, who was packing up, said subconsciously. Then he looked up and saw Guopai, who was in pajamas, looking at Connor. He seemed to be tied up by something and couldn't move at all. After the explosion at the Hilton Hotel, the Las Vegas Police Department was busy again. As the hotel where the participants of the mutant martial arts tournament stayed, the shooting and explosion incidents had made the Mutant Martial Arts Tournament Committee completely angry. Hilton, I don't want to listen to your explanation. I just want to know how they are. The Huaxia mutant team has already complained to the committee. Those Huaxia people are not easy to deal with. Why would someone make trouble for them? How are they now? In a hidden place in the Rocky Mountains of the United States, the president of the Mutant Martial Arts Tournament, Richardson, shouted into the phone. Mr. Richardson, this was an accident. We are now investigating. Just now, the FBI came and said that Huaxia's room was attacked by gunmen. We don't know who did it. Only Huaxia's situation. I can only say that the bodies have not been found yet. Tim Hilton thought for a while and said. He had watched the hotel surveillance several times. Nangong Hao and the beautiful Huaxia girl were indeed in the room. If that was the case, according to the FBI, they had been blown to ashes. The FBI was trying to find a way to extract DNA fragments in the room. You don't have to look for the murderer. If the FBI has news, tell me immediately. Calm the others. The Mutant Martial Arts Tournament will begin in 10 days. I don't want something like this to happen again, Richardson said loudly. Richardson had already guessed who dared to attack the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas. Who else could it be other than the group of people who claimed to be angels? Tim Hilton was very depressed. The Hilton Hotel had accepted the reception work of the Mutant Martial Arts Tournament for several years. Although there had been some small incidents in the past, it had never been like this. That Huaxia guy deserved it. Didn't Huaxia people like the golden mean? Why was there such an arrogant Huaxia? Zhou, I'm afraid that Ling Mo and Nangong Hao are dead. Now, there are only 5 contestants left in Huaxia's special ability group. It's one thing to appeal to the committee. Should we call another one from China? That kid from your Zhou family, Zhou Ting, seems pretty good. Call him over, Yin Lei said with narrowed eyes. I've already called the team leader. The Yin brothers don't need to worry about Ling Mo and Nangong Hao. I hope you guys can do your best in this mutant martial arts tournament. Zhou squinted his eyes and said. Yin Lei and Yin Shan were stunned. Could it be that there was a reason for them to not die after being hit by a bullet? If so, Huaxia's special ability group might have an unexpected performance in this martial arts tournament. There were more and more policemen in front of the Hilton Hotel. Several helicopters in the air shone with huge searchlights. On the top floor of a building opposite the Hilton Hotel, the 2 people who had caused such a big commotion were now standing still, unable to move. I didn't expect that my life would be worth 100 billion Huaxia dollars in China. Now that I'm in the United States, you're only giving me $1 billion US. Am I a failure as a person? Guopai leaned on the railing and looked at the 2 people. The helicopter shone several times, but it didn't hit the 3 of them. Do you want to confess, or do you want me to help you think? Which organization are you from? Tell me. As for that Dennis, I'll look for him later. Guopai squinted his eyes and said. However, Connor and Descartes were obviously not going to cooperate. Their only hope now was that the helicopter could hit them. The Angel Council would naturally take care of the FBI. This guy in front of them was a pervert among perverts. If you don't want to talk, then I'll do it myself, Guopai said and walked to Connor's side. You were the one who fired the rocket at me just now, weren't you? That's a big deal. As Guopai spoke, he looked at Connor. From the corner of his eyes, Descartes saw that Connor's expression slowly became painful. I'm Connor Jefferson, a 2-winged angel from the Angel Council. The mission I received this time was to kill Nangong Hao, a member of Huaxia's special ability group. The employer is Dennis, the gambling king. The reward is $1 billion US. The Angel Council is the most powerful assassination organization in the world. We have 108 2-winged angels, 36 4-winged angels, 4 6-winged angels, and 1 8-winged angel. Of course, we don't need the angels to take care of small matters. Our peripheral members can handle everything. Connor smiled like a robot. No, Connor. This is a secret of the Angel Council. Lord Raphael will make you beg for death. Wake up. Descartes shouted. Connor, however, did not seem to understand Descartes' words at all. Where's the Angel Council? How can I contact the other members of the Angel Council? Guopai asked with narrowed eyes. The Angel Council is here. The Angel Council is here. No, I am a two-winged angel of the Angel Council. I will not betray the Angel Council. Lord Raphael will protect me. I will not die. Death is just a new beginning. After saying that, Connor's lips curled into a strange smile. Then he stopped breathing. Haha, Huaxia, did you see that? Lord Raphael already knows what happened here. You're dead. This is no longer a conflict between you and Dennis. You've offended the Angel Council. You're dead. Descartes laughed. Guopao frowned. This Connor had already fallen into his puppet technique. He didn't expect that this person called Raphael would stab him in the back. It's not good, it's really not good. If it wasn't for the fact that he was worried about the cycle of heaven, he would have used his mind-reading technique. Huaxia, are you afraid? In fact, the Angel Council doesn't even need to do anything. You'll die too. Nangong Lingma of your Hua, Xia Special Ability Group, was blown up. You have to take full responsibility for this. Haha, the master is dead, but his servant is still alive. How laughable. Kadir said loudly when he saw Guopai in a daze. Sigh, the ignorant will always be ignorant. Guopai couldn't help but shake his head. Then, Ling Mo appeared in front of Descartes. This guy is the one who wanted to kill us. He's still showing off. This time, it was Descartes' turn to be dumbfounded. He had clearly seen through the binoculars that this little girl had been blown to smithereens the moment the bomb exploded. How could she appear in front of him again without any injuries? Was this little girl a human or a ghost? Bad guy. I heard what he said just now. Angel Council. What nice name. They also caused trouble in Huaxia. At that time, the National Security Bureau and the Special Ability Group worked together, but that six-winged angel called Vincent still managed to escape, Ling Mo said with a pout. When Descartes heard Vincent's name, his expression became even more complicated. He was finished. He didn't have Master Vincent's strength. When Vincent escaped from Huaxia to the Angel Council with serious injuries, Huaxia was listed as one of the most dangerous places to take on missions. He didn't expect to be defeated by a few Huaxia people in the United States. Master Raphael is here. You're finished. Just as Guopai and Nangong Lingma were chatting, an indescribable force shrouded the top floor of the building. Ling Mo stuck out her tongue and hid behind Guopai. Guopai took out a small flying sword. This Raphael should be the eight-winged angel of the Angel Council. Chapter 376. Little girl, I'm here. You don't have to be afraid of him. He's probably the only one who dares to show up after we caught those two. I'll make him stay too. Guopai sensed the subtle changes in the air. This Raphael wasn't simple. However, he was still far from being able to bully this young master. After hearing Guopai's words, Ling Mo looked up at the sky. It didn't seem like anyone was coming. However, looking at Guopai's confident expression, he had nothing to be afraid of. When had he ever been at a disadvantage when following Big Bro Bad Guy? Friend from Huaxia's Special Ability Group, can we talk? 30 meters away, a man wearing a tuxedo and a mask appeared on the rooftop. Guopao squinted his eyes and looked at this man. He was really pretentious. He was dressed so formally, unlike himself, who was dressed in pajamas. However, sometimes in a fight, the one who dressed better would not win. Big Bro Bad Guy. He looks even cooler than you. I didn't even see how he appeared. Ling Mo said as he stuck out his tongue. Talk is good. How do you want to talk? Guopai asked with a smile. He stabbed Descartes' thigh with a knife in his hand. A large wound began to bleed. Raphael frowned. Although this Huaxia man looked less than 20 years old, he gave him a lot of pressure. It was an inexplicable pressure that he hadn't felt in a long time. It made him very uncomfortable. Let's talk about compensation for today. The Angel Council tried to assassinate you. Connor is dead. I want to take Descartes away. What do you want? Or how can I let Descartes go? Raphael said with a smile. I can give him to you. You can take him and stand 1,000 meters away. I'll use a *** to hit you. If you don't die, then we'll call it even. Is that okay? Guopai said with a smile. Huaxia man, I haven't spoken so politely to anyone in a long time. Don't you think you're going overboard? Raphael finally couldn't hold it in anymore. He said with a gloomy face, "You're angry just because of that? I didn't even get angry when I was being chased and beaten by a ****. You're angry just because of that?" With that, Guopai stabbed Descartes' leg twice with his dagger. "I don't like your attitude. If you want to spar, come on. I'd like to see what an 8-winged angel is capable of." Before Guopai could finish his words, Raphael flung his tuxedo and disappeared. Guopai smiled. "You have some ability. I haven't really fought with anyone since I came to the human world. I'll play with you today." Guopai turned around, leaving little Ling Mo standing there in a daze. He had already disappeared. "Bad guy, be careful," Nangong Ling Ma said loudly. Back then, the 6-winged angel had tormented the entire Hua Xia special ability group. Now that Raphael was an 8-winged angel, little Ling Mo was really worried. Guopai, who was wearing pajamas, and Raphael, who was wearing a tuxedo, stopped in midair. Several helicopters could be seen flying in the air below their feet. Raphael held a long sword in his hand, while Guopai held a dagger less than 10 centimeters long between his index and middle fingers. Angel? There are no angels in the sky. They're just a bunch of barbarians who failed to ascend successfully. I'll let you see what the true abilities of the heavens are. After Guopai finished speaking, he strode to Raphael's side. Raphael didn't dare to be careless. The long sword in his hand slashed out one after another. "Weak, weak, weak. I know where your skills come from. Haha. Angel, don't call yourself the Angel Council. If those guys who failed to ascend find out that you call yourselves angels, they'll be pissed to death. Demons, you're also the descendants of great demons. Don't flatter yourself." Guopai increased his speed. The short sword in his hand directly cut through Raphael's tuxedo. "I don't know what you're talking about. Today, I'll let you experience the power of an angel." Raphael narrowed his eyes. His aura suddenly became much stronger. He rushed toward Guopai. The long sword in his hand directly cut through Guopai's pajamas. This time, it was Guopai's turn to be shocked. "Kid, keep going. Today, you're dead meat. There is no one the Angel Council can't kill. I will use your blood as an offering to the dead 2-winged angel." After saying that, Raphael's aura rose again. Guopai could sense that Raphael's current strength was at least at the golden core stage. The two of them exchanged blows at a rapid pace. Every time they made contact, they would break apart. After tens of rounds, Guopai was gasping for breath. It was clear that he was at a disadvantage. He had assumed that Raphael's power was only temporarily increasing. Unexpectedly, the more they fought, the stronger his aura became. Guopai was having a hard time holding on. "Kid, this is what you get for insulting the Angel Council. Didn't you say that we are the descendants of demons? Doesn't Hua Xia have a demon-slaying profession? Where did your aura go? Keep going," Raphael said, looking at Guopai. His body shone with golden light, and there were no openings. "Just what kind of attack is this? How strange. Do you have to force me to take some medicine?" Guopai thought to himself. In the previous few rounds, he had indeed suffered some losses. Although they were only superficial wounds, he had never suffered such a loss before. Ever since he came to the Heavenly Court, with the exception of that one time when he was ambushed on Taiyun, when had he ever suffered such a loss? "Kid, I'm done playing with you. Look carefully. This sword is called the Angel's Sword. I'll let you see the true power of an angel," Raphael said. The sword in Raphael's hand radiated a terrifying wave of energy. It was even more powerful than Raphael's own ability. Angel's power? What angel's power? Now I know why your aura is so strong. Ha ha ha. The great demon has become smarter. He has actually learned the methods of the great shamans in the Heavenly Court. However, you fellows just don't copy them. Let me tell you, the angel's power you speak of is not used like this. The moment Raphael's angel's sword was about to slash down on Guopai, Guopai stepped forward. Why was Raphael's power rising? Angel's sword. Then I'll let you see my angel's sword. After saying that, the flying sword in Guopai's hand suddenly elongated. Then, A powerful aura radiated from the sword. It was even stronger than Raphael's angel's sword. The two swords collided. This is impossible. How can you have an angel's sword? Raphael was stunned. The aura of Guopai's sword was exactly the same as the aura of his angel's sword passed down by the Angel Council. In fact, it was even more powerful than his own sword. Come on, let's do it again. Your angelic sword is female, while mine is male. Naturally, yours can't compare to mine. Angel Council, haha. What a joke. A bunch of descendants of great demons calling themselves angels. I'm afraid even your ancestors won't forgive you. After saying that, Guopai charged at Raphael again. The aura of the sword in his hand increased once more. The two swords collided once more. Pa! The sword in Raphael's hand broke into two. There was no aura at all. No, my angel's sword. Who are you? You are the devil. Just you wait. The Angel Council won't let you off. After saying that, Raphael disappeared into the night like a black wind. Chapter 377. Guopai watched as Raphael ran away. When he could no longer sense Raphael's presence, Guopai landed in an unnatural position on the rooftop. Little Ling, Mo hurried over. Although he had no idea what happened between Guopai and the eight-winged angel, it seemed like Bro Bad Guy had won, and it wasn't an easy win. Kid, now you know how powerful Lord Raphael is. Let me go now, and Lord Raphael might spare your life, Descartes said with a laugh. Slap! A huge handprint appeared on Descartes' face. How dare you hit me again? You'll definitely regret it. Lord Raphael will never let you go. Descartes' face was swollen, and his words were slurred. Slap! A huge handprint appeared on the other side of his face, too. Now, both sides were swollen, and Descartes' face looked like a bun. Huaxia people, Angel Council. Before Descartes could finish his sentence, he heard two more bangs on his left and right sides. Your eight-winged angel, Lord Raphael, has been chased away by me. Are you still waiting for him to save you? I've hit you so many times, and you still haven't woken up. You're hopeless. As he spoke, Guopai pointed at Descartes' head, and Descartes fell to the ground. Little Ling, Mo looked at Guopai's pale face. Even the eight-winged angel was chased away by Bro Bad Guy. He's so powerful. Back in the days, a six-winged angel caused a huge commotion in Huaxia. Bro Bad Guy is still the best. Just when Little Ling Mo was lost in his thoughts, a helicopter seemed to have noticed the commotion and shone its searchlight towards them. In an instant, Guopai and Little Ling Mo disappeared from the rooftop. The helicopter flew towards them and saw the two people lying on a rooftop. Moments later, the entire building was surrounded and the alarm went off. Mr. Hilton, we want to see the person in charge of the martial arts tournament organizing committee. This is the guarantee that there is no problem with our safety. On the first day, Huaxia was shot. How long has it been since then? Now, that Huaxia is in trouble. Will something happen to us later? A tall man from Europe stopped him, Hilton, and asked loudly. Then, a group of people surrounded Hilton and waited for Hilton's reply. Last time, Huaxia was able to help him out, but this time it was not easy. Those guys from the organizing committee wanted him to think of a solution. How could he think of a solution? There was still more than half a month before the start of the martial arts tournament. What if something happened again? Hilton's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Looking at the group of non-humans, he knew very well that these people wanted to play tricks on him, and he couldn't avoid it. Mr. Sarafi, please take a seat first. I'm about to contact the organizing committee. This incident is indeed out of our expectation. Hilton Hotel has already started to think of solution. If it doesn't work, before Hilton could finish her sentence, her hand was grabbed by someone. Oh, Mr. Sarafi, if it doesn't work, you'll have to change my room. Guopai appeared in front of everyone in his pajamas. Mr. Hilton, I'm really sorry. I offended some people in the U.S., and I didn't expect to implicate the Hilton Hotel. I'm really sorry to have frightened everyone, Guopai said with a smile. He slightly tightened his grip on Hilton's hand. Hilton immediately understood what was going on. He looked at the Huaxia in front of him with a confused expression. Benefactor, you're my benefactor. No, You're the benefactor of the Hilton Hotel. Tell me, how should I repay you? Hilton cheered loudly in his heart, but he did look serious now. Mr. Nangong, thank you for showing up in time. I really didn't expect that the people you offended wouldn't give face to the Hilton family. But don't worry, this kind of thing won't happen again. We'll be on alert in all the places in Las Vegas that threaten the Hilton Hotel. I guarantee that this kind of thing won't happen again before the martial arts tournament, Tim Hilton said with a serious expression. That's the best. Sorry for disturbing everyone's rest today. Little Lingma and I have thought about it. We've brought so much trouble to the Hilton Hotel, so we're going to leave the Hilton Hotel and stay somewhere else. We'll come back when the martial arts tournament starts. It's good for everyone, Guo Pai said with a smile. The group of members of the martial arts tournament looked at the huaxia in front of them. It was obviously the Hilton Hotel's fault. Why would he protect the Hilton Hotel so much? Could it be that this huaxia and Tim Hilton had some other shady business? Mr. Nangong, the Hilton Hotel is also responsible for this matter. If it's possible, I think you and the honorable lady should continue to stay at the Hilton Hotel. Tim Hilton said with a smile. Guo Pai shook his head gently. The group of onlookers also left. They didn't want to continue watching the Hilton Hotel's clumsy performance. 10 minutes later, Guo Pai was invited to the top floor of the Hilton Hotel by the Hilton Hotel. Little Ling Ma booked a new room to rest. Hong Tai also came to the Hilton Hotel immediately and sent more than a dozen bodyguards to guard outside Little Ling Ma's room. Damn it, being tormented like this in the middle of the night made Hong Tai very unhappy. Fortunately, Brother Nangong was fine. Otherwise, he would be too ashamed to go home and see his grandfather. Mr. Nangong, you've helped the Hilton Hotel out again today. On behalf of the Hilton family, I thank you for your help to the Hilton Hotel. Tim Hilton bowed deeply to Guo Pai. Guo Pai smiled slightly. It was just a small effort. However, since I've helped you so much, the Hilton family should at least show some gratitude. Guo Pai thought to himself and looked at Tim Hilton calmly. I've already reported to the family. The family head has agreed to transfer 10% of the shares of the Hilton Hotel to Mr. Nangong. I hope Mr. Nangong won't think it's too little, Tim Hilton said with a smile. Although he was somewhat reluctant when the family head proposed to transfer the shares to Guo Pai, since it was the family's decision, he couldn't say anything. Hilton looked at Guo Pai's indifferent look and couldn't help sighing in his heart. Such a young man was really amazing. In the face of such a big benefit, he could still be so calm. Mr. Nangong, 10% of the shares of this hotel can give you about $1 billion a year. Of course, I know Mr. Nangong is not short of money, but I think Mr. Nangong is still single. How about I introduce some friends to you? I hope Mr. Nangong will like them. With that, Tim Hilton clapped his hands and a secret door in the private room opened. 4 girls in bikinis who looked exactly the same appeared behind the secret door. The 4 of them had different expressions and manners, but they were definitely beauties among beauties. With a height of 178 meters and a perfect figure, Guo Pai couldn't help but take a few more glances at them. However, the most unfortunate thing was that they were all white. Thinking of the words Ewer said before he left, the originally hot atmosphere around him suddenly cooled down. Ahem, I didn't expect Mr. Hilton to like to eat young grass. This is like keeping a mistress in a golden house, Guo Pai said with a smile and glanced at the 4 beauties from time to time. Chapter 378. Mr. Nangong, you must be joking. I can guarantee that these 4 women are 100% original. I have never touched them even once. The 4 of them shocked a lot of people in the United States at that time. Several rich people offered me yachts in exchange for them, but I didn't. Tim Hilton sighed and said. Guo Pai stood up and went straight to the 4 girls. He reached out and touched the 4 girls. The 4 girls giggled, which made Guo Pai's heart ripple. Hilton also narrowed his eyes. This time I made the right bet. Which man is not lustful? Thank you for your kindness, Mr. Hilton, but I can't accept such a big gift. I have a wife in Huaxia. We Huaxia people have different thoughts from you. Mr. Hilton, you should keep these beauties for yourself. After that, Guo Pai returned to his seat again. Mr. Nangong, they can continue to stay in the Hilton Hotel. You can come to them whenever you come to the United States. Tim Hilton said with a smile. Guopai shook his head gently. Forget it. I have so many confidants in China. I'd better not challenge Yu Er's patience. Thinking of a knife in Yu Er's hand whose material he couldn't tell, Guopai couldn't help shivering. Finally, Guopai looked at the four beauties and signed a share transfer contract handed over by Tim Hilton. 10% of the hotel shares were already his, but Guopai didn't want the four quadruplets. When I go back, I have to teach you a good lesson. How can she have racial prejudice? Huaxia people are human beings, and Americans are also human beings. Now, I can't have racial prejudice. Guopai thought to himself. Before leaving, he told Hilton to keep the four girls for himself. Hilton smiled knowingly. When he returned to the suite, he saw a group of burly men guarding the door. Guopai smiled helplessly. If someone wanted to harm little Ling Mo, these people were not enough. However, it was good that old brother Hong Tai was considerate. This hotel was not a blessed place for him. It was better to leave as soon as possible. Brother bad guy, it's not dawn yet. Are we leaving now? Guopai woke up the little girl who was meditating. Ling Mo asked confusedly. Let's go. Las Vegas is a dangerous place. Didn't you see the way people looked at us when we came back? Not to mention the others. Just the Een brothers of Huaxia's special ability group felt very uncomfortable. Let's go somewhere else for a while and come back when the special ability martial arts tournament starts. Guopai said with a smile. Little Ling Mo nodded and had nothing to pack. He took a small plane on the top floor of the Hilton Hotel and flew to San Francisco. Grandpa, we'll be home in about 30 minutes. The thing you said on the phone is done. Get someone to prepare a guest room for us. Old man, you're burning the bridge so soon. You promised me to give me a week off. This matter has to be kept. I've already told Xiaomei to go to Hawaii. Hong Tai was bargaining happily with his grandfather on the phone until the plane landed in San Francisco. Guopai and the others walked out of the plane and were shocked by the scene in front of them. Grandpa, why are you here? Didn't I say that you could wait at home? Fourth uncle, why didn't you stop the old man? Hong Tai looked at an old man in a tang suit and walked over and said, Wait a minute. I'll bring Brother Nangong here. Let's go home quickly. Before Hong Tai could finish his words, the old man slapped Hong Tai on the head and then kicked Hong Tai to the side. Get lost. You didn't even figure out the bad master's identity along the way. Brother Nangong, I think you should give your identity as the home master to someone else. The old man looked at Hong Tai with some disappointment and then walked up to Guopai. Bad master, the 38th generation leader of the Hong sect, Hong Wantong, greets you. The old man directly knelt on one knee, and then more than 30 people behind him knelt on one knee at the same time. Hong Tai's eyes widened. Bad master? What kind of bad master is this Brother Nangong? Did Grandpa take the wrong medicine? Old man, get up quickly. Let's go home and talk about it. Such a big scene scared me. Guopai said with a smile and pulled Hong Wantong up. Hong Tai, what are you waiting for? Drive the car here. Fourth uncle, go, and tell those FBI agents that if today's matter is spread out, I don't care if they are FBI agents or not. The Hong sect will make San Francisco restless. The old man said to the man who Hong Tai called fourth uncle. Dad, don't worry, I'll deal with it. A group of ignorant people. Today the old man came to the airport to pick someone up, and they dare to take photos. They're looking for death. As he spoke, Hong Wantong's fourth son, Hong Yunbiao, quickly walked to the foreigners and said a few words. The foreigners then obediently handed over all their mobile phones and cameras. Old man, fourth uncle's skills are not bad. He is already at the peak of the Xiantian realm. In the United States, he can be regarded as a master among masters. Guopai said with a smile. Since the leader of the Hong sect came in person, it seemed that it was Master Yufeng's idea. Guopai's seniority should also be based on Master Yufeng's seniority. Guopai felt at ease in his heart. According to the current way of addressing his family's juniors, he was at a disadvantage. Bad master, you can't talk nonsense about seniority. You can call him Little Four. Hong Tai, what are you looking at? I will teach you a lesson when we go back. Brother Nangong, you are quite good at calling me bad master. Do you remember? Hong Wantong stared at Hong Tai, who was driving, and said loudly. Hong Tai was completely confused. It took almost an hour to drive from the San Francisco airport to the old man's residence. The car directly drove to a luxurious villa. The car was very stable. A group of people got off the car. The situation outside was similar to the situation at the airport. A group of young people in black clothes stood upright. "Badmaster, please come in," Hong Wantong said loudly. A group of juniors stared with their eyes wide open. They were called up early in the morning and said that there was a distinguished guest coming. It turned out that it was a young man younger than them. Was there something wrong with the leader's head? Of course, no one dared to ask such a question. A group of people watched Guopai and others walk into the meeting hall and then began to talk. "I just heard the leader call Badmaster. Did you hear that? Who is he calling Badmaster? It seems that there is only that young man beside him." A young man whispered, "I heard it. The leader called him. You didn't see the face of Master Hong Tai. It seems that he was the one who brought him in. His face was blue." Another young man whispered, "Cough, cough, cough. It is a big taboo in the Hong sect for you to talk about the leader of the Hong Master behind his back. We will know who is coming in at dawn. Now that he has come in, you can go and rest." An older middle-aged man said softly. A group of young people left as if they were escaping. "Badmaster? What was the sect leader trying to do? That young man just now looks familiar. I seem to have seen him somewhere recently." The middle-aged man looked at the group of young people running away and said to himself, but it seemed that his brain was not working very well. He didn't remember that the young man who recently won tens of thousands of yuan on the internet was the one who came in with the leader. "Grandpa, what's going on? You've really confused me." Chapter 379. "Grandpa, you can't call me Master Bad anymore. You're overpraising me," Guopai said with a smile. Guopai naturally knew more about the seniority of Hua Xia than the grandpa in front of him. The older one was, the more they paid attention to seniority. Hong Wantong should be a few generations lower than Master Yufeng. Otherwise, he wouldn't call him Master Bad. "Why can't I? In the past, Master Yuan, Ming, Xing, Li De, Tong, Wu, and Shui occupied the word Ming. Now, not to mention the overseas Hong sect, even the whole world, Master Yufeng is the most senior. I occupy the word Tong, 3 generations lower than Master Yufeng. You are the disciple of Master Yufeng. If I don't call you Master Bad, what should I call you?" Hong Wantong said with a serious face. "Ahem, Grandpa, you said Brother Nangong. No, Master Bad is the disciple of Master Yufeng. Why haven't I heard of it before?" Hong Tai said softly. He still knew the name of Master Yufeng. Master Yufeng is indifferent to fame and fortune. He has been in China all these years. How can he be the same as those arrogant old guys in Hong sect? I talked to Master Yufeng on the phone yesterday, and Master Yufeng didn't dare to say that Master Bad is his disciple. I'm already taking advantage of him by calling him Master Bad," Hong Wantong said loudly. After listening to Hong Wantong's words, Guopai didn't say much, but when the grandpa went out, he pulled Hong Tai aside. "Brother Hong, I didn't tell you my real identity. Please don't blame me. I also didn't know about Master Yufeng's relationship with Hong sect until today, but let's still call each other brothers. If you also call me Master Bad, I will feel uncomfortable," Guopai said with a smile. Hong Tai nodded happily. "If you feel uncomfortable, I feel even more uncomfortable. How can I feel comfortable calling a young man younger than my own son Master Yufeng?" The old man came back from outside. Seeing that his grandson and Guoshua were chatting happily, he also laughed. It seemed that the grandson he was most proud of was not stupid. However, Great Master Yufeng said that this Guoshua had some ability. How could he not see it? He only knew that this young man's cooking and gambling skills were good. What else could he know? It seemed that the Great Master did not dabble in these 2 skills back then. "Grandpa, what are you thinking? I'll take your pulse later. Haven't you been suffering from insomnia recently? Let Master Bad treat you. Master Bad is one of the best doctors in Huaxia," Hong Tai said with a smile. His grandfather had come, and his grandfather had already called him Bad Master. He definitely couldn't call him Bad Little Brother. As for Guopai's medical skills, Hong Tai didn't need to ask others. After knowing Guopai's name, he could casually open a public website of Huaxia and see Guopai's name. Huaxia was a miracle-working doctor with excellent medical skills. Hong Tai asked Guopai to check him again. He didn't expect that Guopai could tell him all the major and minor diseases in his body just by taking his pulse, including his cooking skills and gambling skills. Hong Tai was completely convinced. This young master was really extraordinary. Of course, Guopai also knew a lot of things that he didn't know. Master Bad, you have such an ability. Today, this old man will let Master Bad take a look. I'm getting old, and my body is much worse than before. Hong Wantong said, and sat on the chair next to Guopai and stretched out his arm. Guopai put 3 fingers on Hong Wantong's wrist. Compared to just now, when he took Hong Tai's pulse, this time it was much longer. Brother Hong, go out and find an aluminum basin and bring a basin of hot water here. Originally, Hong Tai was prepared to listen to what Guopai had to say, but since it was the old man's illness that required it, he hurriedly ran outside. Master Bad, if you have something to say, just say it. There's no need to send little Tai away. Hong Wantong said with a smile, I've lived for so long. Now, I'm earning by living one more day. If you have something to say, just say it. The old man's mentality is good, but who would complain about living a few more days? Guopai said with a smile, a lot of things have happened to the Hong sect recently. This time, Brother Hong Tai went to Las Vegas to help me, and I'm very grateful. But I think it must have brought a lot of trouble to the old man. I told little Tai not to tell you about this, but he still said it. A group of people who don't know how to repay kindness. A mere $1 billion is nothing to them. When Master Yufeng came to the United States, many people were not convinced. If Master Yufeng led the Hong sect back then, the Hong sect would have developed 100 times better than it is now. Hong Wantong said with a hint of helplessness. Master Yufeng didn't mention anything about the Hong sect to me. Let bygones be bygones. But I'm afraid that the Hong sect is not stable now. If it is stable, I don't believe that someone would dare to poison the leader. Guopai said softly. Hong Wantong's eyes widened. Bad Master, the Hong sect is indeed a bit turbulent recently, but it's not to the extent that someone would poison a person who is half a step into the coffin. Hong Wantong said in a soft voice. At this time, he finally understood why Guopao had sent Hong Tai away. Of course, he could still calmly ask for a clear explanation. If Hong Tai knew about this, he was afraid that the Hong meeting would have already started. The method of poisoning is very strange, but I happened to encounter it a few days ago, so I was able to diagnose it at once. Guopao said softly. The old man in front of him had been poisoned by the same poison as his brother-in-law, Morong, long back then. Grandpa, Bad Master, the water is here. Where should I put it? At this time, Hong Tai came in with an aluminum basin from outside. He naturally didn't know what the two were talking about. Brother Hong, just put it on the ground. The old man's blood vessels are blocked. I'll help him to clear it. You can watch from the side. But no matter what happens later, don't make a fuss. This is a taboo in treating and saving people. Guopai said with a smile. Hong Tai nodded, and Guopai took out an animal skin bag with silver needles. Lingma girl, where did the animal skin bag in the bad brother's hand come from? I didn't see it clearly just now. He was only wearing such clothes. There must be no place to hide it. Hong Tai knew that he couldn't help much, so he went directly to little Lingma, who came in with him and asked, What's so strange about it? Brother Bad Guy drinks with a big wine gourd every day. I haven't seen where he can hide the gourd. When I was with Sister Ewer, the things that Sister Ewer took out from her body were bigger than Brother Bad Guy's. She has a superpower. You won't understand, even if I explain it to you. Little Lingma said with a smile. Hong Tai was speechless. Guopai's acupuncture method this time was very strange. He only inserted the needles on the left side of Hong Wantong's body, and the acupuncture was very slow. After about 10 minutes, the old man's body was pierced with 36 silver needles. Little Lingma couldn't help but walk over. Brother Bad Guy, this grandpa's body is not very good. You are so slow, and you don't even dare to use your strength. Little Lingma saw it clearly. Guo Pai's slow acupuncture speed indeed had a lot to do with the old man's body. But when little Lingma said this, the boss of the Hong sect was somewhat embarrassed. Guo Pai dipped his finger in the hot water that Hong Tai brought and touched the right side of Hong Wantong's body little by little. After about 10 minutes, Hong Tai opened his eyes wide. There was a trace of black on the right side of his grandpa's body. It's finally done. Now it's time to let the blood out. As he spoke, a silver needle that was almost 1 meter long appeared in Guo Pao's hand. Guo Pao had no choice but to inject his true qi into the needle to harden it. Then he inserted the needle into Hong Wantong's body under the wide-open eyes of the old man and Hong Tai. "Grandpa, bear with it. It will only hurt a little." Before his voice died away, Guo Pai pulled out the long needle, and a blood sword shot out along with the silver needle. Guo Pai picked up the basin to block the blood sword and took a deep breath. "I'm done with my work. Grandpa Hong, do you want to know what's going on?" Chapter 380. Hong Wantong felt a sharp pain in his body, but soon he felt much better. He felt as if he had suddenly become 10 years younger. However, Guo Pai's words once again made him feel like he had fallen into an ice cave. As the leader of the Freemasons, he had been poisoned by someone close to him, and he didn't even know about it. What a shame. Bad Grandpa. There are some things that I don't want to hide from you. Now, the Freemasons are really not as united as they seem to be. Looking at the black blood in the basin, Hong Wantong shook his head and said, "Over the years, I have been trying to make the Tiandahui bleach itself, but this has affected the interests of many people. This year alone, I have been assassinated 4 times, and I know that 2 of the assassins were hired by the Tiandahui." "Grandpa, who is it? Didn't you say they were all from the Yamaguchi Gumi? Why are the disciples of the Freemasons involved?" Hong Tai naturally heard the old man's words, and couldn't help but stand up and ask loudly, "Tai, when can you be more mature? Then this old man can rest assured and leave more things to you. Your father is not suitable to manage the Freemasons, so I put a lot of hope on you. But you haven't made any progress in the past few years." Hong Wantong couldn't help but shake his head and said. Hong Tai's face turned red. "Half a year ago, when I went to Australia, it was Chun Hongfa's people who tried to assassinate me. This time, it was Zhang Mengbiao. I have said 3 years ago that the disciples of the Freemasons are not allowed to touch drugs anymore. Alas, they also want to fight for the benefits of their own disciples, but now they are getting out of hand." Hong Wantong shook his head and said, "This time I don't know who did it. It seems that I can't control the Freemasons anymore." Guo Pai didn't say anything. Can't control the Freemasons anymore? There were only a few people in the Freemasons. When he was the leader, it was much more chaotic than now. 6 of his 7 disciples betrayed him, but in the end, they were all suppressed by him. As the leader of the Freemasons, there was one word that he must be ruthless. "Brother Hong, go and get the head chef of this villa. Tell him that I'm looking for him to discuss what to eat today," Guo Pai said with a smile. Hong Wanong looked pensive. The poison entered through the mouth. Could it be that Lao Fan had poisoned him? This was impossible. Lao Fan had been with him since he was a child. How could he poison him? Hong Tai didn't think too much about it. When he saw his grandfather, he waved his hand and didn't dare to call him. He directly went to find the head chef of this villa, Fan Hongdao, his uncle Fan. "Master Bad, did the chef poison you?" Hong Wantong couldn't help but ask. "You'll know when you come." Guo Pai naturally guessed what Hong Wantong was thinking, but since the Hong sect and Imperial Windmaster had some relationship, it seemed that this matter had to be dealt with. "Fourth uncle is also here. I'm here to find Uncle Fan. Brother Guo Pai wants to discuss what to eat today with Uncle Fan. Grandpa is also here." Hong Tai trotted all the way to the kitchen and saw his 4th uncle and Uncle Fan talking about something. He walked over with a smile and said, in the whole Hong Tai gang, there were a few people that Hong Tai respected very much. His 4th uncle and the head chef of Hong Tai gang happened to be among the people that he respected. "Tai, who is that kid? Your grandpa is so polite to him." Hong Tai's 4th uncle, Hong Weilong, asked with a smile. "He is Imperial Windmaster." "4th uncle, you should have seen him before. I often heard Grandpa talk about the legendary disciple of the old man. According to seniority, He is 2 generations older than Grandpa. But now we're not talking about him. Fourth uncle, let's go together. Brother Bad's medical skills are very good. It seems that he helped Grandpa to release the poisonous blood in his body. Grandpa was poisoned by our people. Hong Tai said without hesitation. The old man was poisoned. Hong Weilong looked at Fan Hong Dao. The two didn't say much and followed Hong Tai to the hall. Grandpa, Uncle Fan is here. Fourth uncle is also here. I asked fourth uncle to come and let Master Bad check fourth uncle's body. Last time you said that fourth uncle suffered an internal injury and hasn't recovered. Hong Tai said with a smile. Hong Wantong didn't say much and directly asked the two to sit down. Dad, Tai said you were poisoned. What's the matter? Hong Weilong asked softly. He looked at the black blood in the basin and cupped his fists at Guopao. Master Guopao, you've helped the old man detoxify. I, Long, will remember this favor. Guopai smiled, but didn't say anything. His eyes didn't leave Fan Hong Dao. Fan Hong Dao wanted to say something, but didn't say it. Uncle Hong, I just heard from Tai that there's a distinguished guest in the house. It must be this person in front of us. Mr. Nangong is young and promising. Lao Fan admires his cooking and gambling skills from the bottom of his heart. What do you want to eat today? I will make it for you. Of course, my cooking skills are much worse than Mr. Nangong's. Fan Hong Dao said with a smile, but his smile was obviously a little unnatural. Dao, how many years have you been with me? Hong Wanon took a deep breath, looked at Fan Hong Dao, and asked softly, I still remember 40 years ago, when you first arrived in the United States, you were still a boy named Futaba. At that time, you followed Weilong everywhere to fight for territory. I would never have thought that the Double Flower Red Rod is now hiding in San Francisco as a cook. Yes, I didn't know anything at that time. I only knew to follow behind Brother Long. At that time, San Francisco was really chaotic. Vietnamese, Japanese, Italians, and the local gangs of the United States. Basically, people died every day. I remember that Brother Long carried me out several times. Every time I came back, Uncle Hong would scold Brother Long. Fan Hong Dao said thoughtfully, as if the things in the past were right in front of him. Back then, Hong Dao's reputation was also very famous in San Francisco. I remember that later, Hong Dao became a cook. Once, the two of us went out and met a few gangsters who were looking for trouble. One of them seemed to recognize Hong Dao and fainted directly. Hong Dao's reputation in San Francisco was absolutely great. Hong Weilong also sighed and said, Yes, it was okay when I didn't know anything at that time. I didn't have any other thoughts. Bad Master, what do you want to eat? Tell Dao and try Dao's cooking. After Hong Wantong finished speaking, he stood up and walked out of the hall. Uncle Dao, the old man's concept of seniority is too strong. Let's talk about it separately. Don't call me Bad Master. You call me Bad Master, and I call Hong Tai Brother Hong. At that time, there will be a difference in seniority, Guo Pai said with a smile. Fan Hong Dao and Hong Weilong also laughed. Little Bad, what do you want to eat? Tell me, today I will cook personally. Fan Hong Dao said with a smile. He was no longer nervous like before. Just follow the old man's recent recipes. Chaotic Kaiwan pork, een and yang big water chestnut, Lautan chicken cucumber, 9 drunk peanuts, Sanyang kai tai dog, 2 color secret beans, 1,000 burrow rabbit meat, old ghost celery, secret salted crucian carp, running horse oil oats, ground dragon fried foie gras, phoenix dance egg flour. I think Uncle Dao can make these. Just a few will do. If there are too many, I can't handle it. Guo Pai narrowed his eyes and said. Fan Hong Dao, who was originally happy, suddenly became gloomy. Uncle Dao, what's wrong? Don't you often cook these dishes for old Master Hong? Guo Pai narrowed his eyes and said, Old Master Hong said something right. It's okay if you don't know, but if you know too much, I'm afraid your mind will be wrong. Brother Bad, Uncle Dao, what are you talking about? Why can't I understand? Hong Tai was stunned and asked, Little Bad, I don't understand your words either. If you have something to say, you can say it directly. Hong Weilong stepped forward and asked with a smile. I thought it would be difficult to find a mastermind. It seemed that I was wrong. Fourth uncle, Uncle Dao, don't you understand the meaning of the recipes just now? Guopai also said with a smile. When Hong Tai said that Fan Hongdao and Hong Weilong came together, he suspected Hong Weilong. However, the unnatural murderous aura just now made Guopai believe that Hong Weilong was involved in poisoning Hong Wantong. Fourth uncle, say something. Chapter 381. Hong Weilong narrowed his eyes and looked at Guopao. He didn't care about his nephew, who was shouting. Fan Hongdao clenched his fists and was ready to attack Guopao at any time. For a moment, the atmosphere in the hall became tense. I'm not a member of the Hong sect, and I'm not going to meddle in your business. Fourth uncle, go and apologize. The old man is the leader of the Hong sect, and there is nothing that can't be settled between father and son. Guopai said with a smile, Uncle Dao, you have been with the old man for so many years, and you should know his temper. Atai, inform the leaders of the internal and external 8 halls that the incense hall will be held this afternoon. According to the rules, Fan Hongdao and I are guilty. After about 3 minutes of stalemate, Hong Weilong's chi suddenly dropped, and he said softly to Hong Tai. Hong Tai's eyes widened, and so did Fan Hongdao's. The incense hall will be held this afternoon, and we still have to eat breakfast. Uncle Fan, go and cook. Fourth uncle, go and find the old man. He wants to see you. After that, Guopai accompanied Hong Weilong to Hong Wantong's residence. Hong Tai wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't. He went to inform the leaders of the internal and external 8 halls, and Fan Hongdao went to the kitchen. Fourth uncle, you had a good chance just now. Why didn't you try to attack me? The double-flower red rod of the Hong sect was not afraid of a young man like me. On the way, Guopai asked with a smile. Daniel wasn't weak, but you crippled him. I know that. Although I don't know how strong you are, I can feel that if I were to attack you, I would die without a doubt, Hong Weilong said softly. In fact, from the moment I poisoned my father, I knew that my life was over. But I can't accept it. Why can Hong Tai be the leader of the incense hall? I have done so much for the Hong sect, but why am I only a deacon of the penal hall? Little bad. I'm not afraid of being laughed at by you, but I can't accept it. You can't accept it? Fourth uncle, it seems that there is one thing that you do not understand. To you, Sect Master Hong is not just a sect master. He is also your father. Just this point alone, you and Hong Tai are very different. Guopai said softly, the fragrant hall will be opened in the afternoon. The old master won't say anything. You're a member of the torture hall, so you should know what to do. As long as you do things well, I won't let you suffer. While talking, they walked into Hong Wantong's house. Guopai was drinking tea in the living room, while Hong Weilong followed Hong Wantong into the study. They didn't know that Hong Tai had contacted the inner and outer 8 halls, and the whole Hong sect was in chaos again. Brother Biao, you must have heard that the old master is going to open the fragrant hall in the afternoon. Did he find out that you did something to him last time? If that's the case, I think you should run away as soon as possible. Otherwise, you won't be able to run away this time. A man with an elegant temperament said to the phone, Brother Hongfa, the fact that you found someone to deal with the old man hasn't been discovered. What can happen to me? If we have to run, you should run first. Don't do anything else. I'm at Long Sheng Tea House now. Come over. Today is an opportunity. Xing Hui will come over later as well. Let's discuss. Zhang Meng Biao said with a relaxed face. Zhang Meng Biao said to a young man beside him. Hong Si, tell the brothers to put down their work and get ready. The fragrant hall will be open this afternoon. All the brothers will go with us. Whether we eat meat or eat sh*t in the future depends on this afternoon. Zhang Meng Biao said loudly to a young man beside him. The young man ran out excitedly. Master, you forced me to do this. If you want to bleach yourselves, that's your own business. I've already made an order with General Song Cha for $8 billion of powder. If I don't sell powder just because you said so, what about my money? Zhang Meng Biao said fiercely. Tell the brothers to get ready. We'll go to the old master's place in the afternoon. Chen Hongfa didn't say much. The 8 big men behind him nodded together. Zhang Meng Biao had a share of $300 million in his sex trafficking business. In addition to that, It was no secret that he had been smuggling arms to all parts of South Asia in recent years. If they could overthrow Hong Wantong, no matter who became the master, they wouldn't dare to say anything to him. Wantong is in big trouble this afternoon. After so many years, I think we should take care of this afternoon's matter. In an inconspicuous tea house in Chinatown, two old men sat opposite each other. The tea in the teapot was fragrant. The owner of the tea house came over from time to refill their tea. He knew that if he offended the protector of the seal and the protector of the sword, he wouldn't be able to keep his small tea house open. Old Shun, we can't take care of this afternoon's matter. If you want to take care of it, I can't accompany you this time. After that, the protector of the seal, Liao Yuan, left such a sentence, got up and left. Shun Dafeng was stunned, as if he knew what had happened, and then shook his head helplessly. 10 minutes ago, on the way to the tea house, Liao Yuan received a small video. It was a video of his grandson who was studying in France and playing in Paris with his girlfriend. The two of them laughed happily, but for Liao Yuan, such a video was sent to him at this time, he couldn't be happy. This time, something big was going to happen in the Xiangtong Hall. And this time, he couldn't intervene because he knew that if he intervened, he wouldn't see such a video. He was cruel and merciless in the past to be able to sit in the position of the Glabella Master for so many years. Now, there were many younger people who were more cruel and merciless than him. Auntie, the protector of the hall, just called. The Xiangtong Hall will be open this afternoon. Why do I feel that something is wrong? The inner 8 halls are in a mess, and the outer 8 halls are not much better. It seems that many people are waiting for the Xiangtong Hall to open this time. The atmosphere of the entire San Francisco is not normal. Boss, what do those Huaxia people want to do? There have been 7 or 8 gunfights this morning. Aren't they very united? Why do they start a fight with their own people? A young man in a police uniform said to a middle-aged policeman, "Don't worry about the Huaxia people. Something big is going to happen in Chinatown today. Little Peter, you listen to me clearly. No matter what you see or hear today, you have to stay in the police car. Otherwise, if something happens to you, I can't explain it to your parents." The old police car said softly. On the way to Chinatown, he received a call from his informant. Today, the leaders of the Freemasons are meeting. It is estimated that there will be some trouble. As a veteran policeman who has been in Chinatown for more than 10 years, he naturally knows what the leaders of the Freemasons are meeting for. He will retire in a few years, and he doesn't want to get involved. "Uncle Charles, do we not care if they shoot and kill people? That's not what you taught me." Little Peter asked with some puzzlement. "Little Peter, remember, you are not Superman. We can't control the affairs of Huaxia people. If you really want to control it, let Superman do it. We just need to watch the place and don't let the group of Italians and Japanese in. If the 3 families fight, it will be more troublesome." Charles saw several familiar cars inside. Huaxia people alone are chaotic enough. What are the Japanese and Italians doing here? Chapter 382. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Chinatown, which was supposed to be bustling with activity, suddenly became quiet. Many shops closed for business, and those that were open for business had fewer staff. Many tourists left Chinatown under the persuasion of the police. At this time, even an idiot would know that something was going to happen in Chinatown. In the busiest part of Chinatown, there was a quaint restaurant, Home to Hotel. Usually, Home to Hotel would be full of people at this time. But today, after the last table of guests was served in the morning, the restaurant canceled all business and closed for the afternoon. However, at this time, the entire restaurant was filled with people. Hong Fei, search carefully. No matter who it is, no one is allowed to bring a gun into the inner hall. If anyone dares to barge in, no matter if it's the hall master or someone else, arrest them all. A man in his early 40s said loudly. Many people looked over, but this man didn't care. The hall master, Hong Junbao, was already at the peak of the enlightening stage. He wasn't afraid of anyone in the entire Hong sect. "Brother Junbao, we're just opening an incense hall today. There's no need to make such a big fuss. Do we have to be searched as well? If this gets out, where are our faces?" Chen Hongfan narrowed his eyes and said to Hong Junbao, "Master Fa, This is the rule of the Hong sect. Moreover, we're opening an incense hall, and everyone inside is our own people. There's no need to bring weapons in. Master Fa, let your brothers hand over their weapons. When this is over, I'm sure they'll return everything to you. Hong Junbao said with a smile. He didn't have a good impression of this hall master. After hearing a lot of gossip this afternoon, Hong Junbao knew that he had to hold on to this first test. Since Brother Junbao said so, brothers, hand over your weapons and let our hall masters search you. As he said that, Chun Hongfa threw a desert eagle to Hong Junbao. The others also took out their weapons and handed them to the hall masters. They then followed behind Chun Hongfa and walked into the inner hall. Hall master, there are many unfamiliar faces following Chun Hongfa today. I'm afraid something is going to happen. A member of the hall masters whispered. Let's not worry about that first. Let's do our job well. If anyone dares to cause trouble, I'll be the first to deal with them. Hong Junbao said softly. Junbao, come here for a moment. I have something to tell you. Hong Weilong saw that almost everyone from the 8th sect had arrived, so he called Hong Junbao to the side. Fourth brother, why didn't you stay inside to accompany the old man? Why did you come out? Today's situation is not small. Just the attendant, steward, and steward halls have found so many people. How? Is this an incense hall? This is clearly a sign of trouble, Hong Junbao said softly. Hong Junbao and Hong Weilong were very close. Back then, the two of them and Fan Hongdao were famous in San Francisco. Hong Junbao was stronger than Hong Weilong and Fan Hongdao. When the old man asked him to be the head of the torture chamber, he refused because he was afraid that it would affect his relationship with Hong Weilong. However, Hong Junbao's biggest weakness was that he was too loyal. Until now, he still didn't know what had happened to the Hong sect. Junbao, this incense hall was my idea. I'm guilty, Hong Weilong said with a red face. He then told Hong Junbao everything that happened today. Fourth brother, why are you so silly? If you want the position of the torture chamber's head, you should have just said so. Plus, we're brothers. It doesn't matter who gets the position. As for the money, if you need it, I have about $1 million in dividends every year. You can just take it. Why do you have to look for those bastards? Hong Junbao shook his head helplessly. He didn't expect Hong Weilong to do something like this. Junbao, there are a lot of things that you don't know. This incense hall isn't just about me and Hong Dao. Zhang Mengbiao, Chun Hongfa, and Xiang Xinghui might try to force us to abdicate. Hong Weilong said softly. Force us to abdicate? What right do they have to force us to abdicate? Do they have to rely on those guns, or a bunch of kids who only know how to eat, drink, and play? Hong Junbao narrowed his eyes and said, if they want to force us to abdicate, then they'll have to settle the scores from all these years. A large meeting room in the Hongtu Hotel's inner hall was filled with people. Everyone had different expressions. Some were chatting casually, while others looked nervous. Hong Wantong walked in from the outside, and the noisy meeting room suddenly quieted down. Uncle Hong, I wonder what's going on at the incense hall today. You know that us juniors are no longer the same as before. We're all people who do proper business. Every minute we waste tens of thousands. We have families to feed. If there's nothing else, I'll have to trouble Uncle Hong to speed up today's matter. Zhang Mengbiao stood up and said loudly, Zhang Mengbiao, how can you speak to the sect master like that? Offending your superiors is a great disrespect. Hong Junbao stood up and said loudly. Then the people in the interrogation room and the people in the interrogation room all stood up together. The atmosphere in the meeting room suddenly became tense. No one expected that the two hall masters would fight before the matter of the incense hall had even been discussed. Brother Jun, Biaozi has a bad temper. Don't lower yourself to his level. Your words of offending your superiors really put a big label on Junbao. Speaking of offending your superiors, your subordinates searched our hall masters today. It's also a great disrespect. The hall master of the interrogation room, Xiang Xinghui, took a sip of tea and said with a smile, Sit down, Junbao. Biaozi, also sit down. Today won't take up too much of everyone's time. We haven't talked together for a long time. Today, I've called everyone over for a chat. By the way, I'll introduce you all to a big boss of our Hong sect. Hong Wantong was not angry and said with a smile, "Bad master, please take a seat." As he said that, Hong Wantong invited Guopai out and directly gave up the seat of honor. Guopai did not stand on ceremony and directly sat on the seat of honor. Just like before, we'll deal with the family matters first before we do anything else. Jun Bao, arrest Hong Weilong for me. Everyone in the meeting room widened their eyes. Old man Hong must be crazy. Why did he open an incense hall for his own son? Hong Junbao personally stepped forward and pressed one hand on Hong Weilong's shoulder. Fourth brother, I'm sorry. Hong Weilong did not struggle and was directly brought to the open space in the middle of the meeting room. Uncle Hong, what are you up to today? Brother Weilong didn't do anything recently. If you're going to enforce your Hong family's rules, there's no need for so many of us to be here. Zhang Meng Biao said with a smile. He was very puzzled. What was this old man doing today? Yunce, what exactly did Hong Weilong do wrong? You tell me. Hong Wantong said softly to a middle-aged man behind him. Wu Yunce, the guest elder of the Hong sect. He usually only came when the Hong sect opened an incense hall and did not participate in other matters of the Hong sect. Someone reported that Hong Weilong poisoned the sect leader. I wonder if Hong Weilong pleads guilty? Wu Yunce asked loudly. In the morning, Hong Wantong called him to the house. He did not expect the incense hall to be open this time for this matter. However, since the old sect leader had given the order, he only needed to do his job as the guest elder well. Weilong knows his mistake. As a deacon of the interrogation room, violating the rules of the sect should be a capital offense. However, Weilong has realized his mistake. I hope the interrogation room will give me a lighter sentence. Hong Weilong knelt in the middle and said softly, Poison the sect leader? Weilong, let's not talk about whether Uncle Hong is fine or not. Just your motive alone is a capital offense. How could you do it? Uncle Hong is your biological father. As his godson, I can't stand it. Chen Hongfa stood up and said. He was originally thinking about how to stir up some conflicts so that it would be convenient for a few people to force Hong Wantong to abdicate. He did not expect the Hong family to be in chaos. Now is the time to help Hong Wantong. Elder, I'm also guilty. I also participated in the poisoning. Fan Hong Dao, who was originally standing aside, took a step forward and knelt in the middle of the meeting hall. What's going on? What's going on? If Zhang Meng Biao and Chen Hongfa, these two bastards, poison the sect leader, I will believe it. But Xiao Si and Dao have been following the sect leader since they were young. How could they do anything to the sect leader? Liao Yuan could not help but say. He did not believe it. He could not believe that such a thing would happen. Chapter 383. Wu Yunce looked at the rowdy crowd and quickly walked down the stage. With a wave of his hand, the rowdy crowd quieted down. Zhang Mengbiao, Chen Hongfa, and the rest squinted their eyes at Wu Yunce. Poisoning the sect leader was a serious matter. They wanted to see how the guest elder, who was known for his fairness, would deal with it. Disciplinary Hall leader Hong Junbao. It has been confirmed that Hong Weilong poisoned the sect leader. According to the rules of the sect, how should we deal with this? Wu Yunce asked Hong Junbao. According to the fourth rule of the sect, if the offense is light, the punishment for poisoning a fellow disciple is 50 beatings with 3 knives and 6 holes. If the offense is serious, the punishment is death. Hong Junbao said in a low voice, Hong Weilong and Fan Hong Dao have contributed a lot to the sect. Although they poisoned the sect leader is fine now. I think we can give them a lighter punishment. Hong Weilong is the disciplinary hall's deacon. I am willing to replace him with 3 knives and 6 holes. Hong Junbao's meaning was clear. Hong Weilong should be given a lighter punishment this time. I wonder if the other hall leaders have any objections? Wu Yunce looked at the people below the stage and asked, Elder, I think Brother Jun's punishment is not right. How can poisoning a fellow disciple be given the same punishment as poisoning the sect leader? Moreover, the last 3 knives and 6 holes can't be replaced. If that's the case, does it mean that anyone who commits a crime in the future can be led by their subordinates? Zhang Mengbiao said loudly. Hall leader Zhang is right. Brother Jun, Brother Weilong, and Brother Hongdao have indeed contributed a lot to the sect. This matter is obvious to everyone. I also know about the relationship between the two of you. However, these are two separate matters. This time, they must be punished severely for poisoning the sect leader. Shen Hongfa said loudly. Wei Long is the main culprit, so he will be flogged 100 times. The punishment of 3 knives and 6 holes cannot be substituted by anyone else. Baby June is the main culprit, so he will be flogged 50 times and forfeited a year's worth of salary. Hong Dao is the accomplice, so he will be flogged 100 times. He was severely injured when he fought for the Hong sect, so he will be exempt from the punishment of 3 knives and 6 holes. This is my opinion. I don't know if you're satisfied with it. Chen Hongfa still wanted to say something, but he was stopped by Xiang Xinghui. You can disrespect Hong Junbao, Wu Yunce, and even Hong Wantong, but you have to listen to the words of this sword protector. Shen Saiyang had been with the 3 sect leaders for so long, and rarely participated in the matters of the Hong sect. But if he asked for something in the Hong sect, just do as he said. Shen Hongfa did not say anything, because he also knew about this sword protector. Last time at the incense hall, the outer 8-hall scout hall's leader muttered something while he was talking, and this old man took out his gun and shot him twice. Even now, the scout hall's leader came here in a wheelchair. Shen Hongfa was also completely convinced by this sword protector. Since Uncle Shun has spoken, then we will do as Uncle Shun said today. Zhang Mengbiao said with a smile. If Hong Weilong flogged 3 knives and 6 holes, it would be difficult for him to achieve anything in the Hong sect in the future. Moreover, if the Hong family's father and son were to be estranged, it would be very beneficial for them. Brother Jun, don't just stand there. Bring the torture equipment and execute the rules. Shen Hongfa squinted his eyes and said. Shen Hongfa was very excited today. How could he not be excited to see the old man on the stage cripple one of his arms? It would be best if he could anger the old man to death. Then their business would be much easier. Just as Hong Junbao was about to order his subordinates to bring the torture equipment, the sword protector Shen Saiyang stood up and whispered a few words in his ear. Hong Junbao was stunned, then nodded and left with a few people from the torture hall. Zhang Mengbiao, Chen Hongfa, and Xiang Xinghui looked at each other. They did not understand why the torture hall's leader had to come personally to bring the torture equipment. Today's matter was a little strange, but looking at the others, it seemed that they could not figure out anything. Zhang Mengbiao looked at the outer 8 gates, and a few middle-aged men nodded slightly. One of them, a big guy, stood up. Leader, I am Zhang Dao, the vice leader of the Sage Hall of the outer 8 gates. Since there is still some time, I have something to say. The big guy stood up and said loudly, We are all brothers. Just sit down and talk. Hong Wantong said expressionlessly, Leader, I want to talk about the current salary of our brothers. 3 years ago, the salary of the Sage Hall's disciples was $1,500 per month. The protection fees and other fees collected were paid to the ceremony hall according to the ratio of 3 to 7. We took 30%, and the ceremony hall took 70%. The remaining 30% was usually used for the management of the hall, Zhang Dahu said loudly. Zhang Dahu said loudly. The people in the other halls nodded their heads. The number of 3 to 7 was a rule that had been set before, and everyone followed it. Now, the salary of each of our hall's brothers is $1,800 per month. It has increased by $300 in 3 years. To be honest, the protection fees and the fees for managing the ceremony hall are getting harder and harder to collect. With just this amount of money, we brothers can no longer work. The Sage Hall wants to change the ratio of the tribute, or give us more money, or allow us to do something else, Zhang Dahu said loudly. Mo Yunyu, as the leader of the ceremony hall, is what this brother said true? Hong Wantong asked expressionlessly. This brother of the Sage Hall is right. However, the ceremony hall now requires 2 ways of paying tribute. One is to pay a fixed amount, and the other is to pay a ratio of 3 to 7. As for the monthly income, the ceremony hall will send people to check the accounts of the halls. But now, everyone has chosen to pay a fixed amount, an old man in his early 50s said with a smile. How is the monthly tribute of the Sage Hall compared to the other 7 halls? Hong Wantong continued to ask. Now the business of the Hong sect is changing bit by bit. Let's not talk about the amount for now. The business of the Sage Hall is really average. For hotels and 38 supermarkets are not making much profit every month. Mo Yinyu said with a smile. Master you can't say that. The Sage Hall is different from the other halls. In terms of the number of people in the territory, we are far behind. We are doing our best to not lose money, Zhang Dahu said with a red face. Uncle Shun, the instruments of torture are here. We can now open the incense hall and carry out the punishment. Just as the few of them were arguing, Hong Junbao walked in from outside. Behind him, more than a dozen of his brothers were carrying a lot of things. The group of people stared with their eyes wide open. Brother Junbao, you are carrying out the punishment of 3 knives and 6 holes in caning. You have brought a lot of things. I think you brought all the things in the torture hall, Chun Hongfa said with a smile. However, Zhang Meng Biao could not help but shiver. Brother Hongfa, I haven't used these things for a long time. Take them out and let them dry. Who knows, they might come in handy today, Hong Junbao said with narrowed eyes. Shin Hongfa felt cold sweat on his back. After the instruments of torture were brought out, the entire hall fell silent. However, Hong Junbao did bring a lot of things this time. Other than knives and caning sticks, there was also a huge guillotine. Although Hong Junbao said that these things had not been used before, the glaring markings on the guillotine made the group of people's scalps tingle. Hong Weilong poisoned his fellow sect members. Today, we will carry out the sect rules. 100 caning and 6 holes. The enforcers can be from the torture hall. Of course, to avoid arousing suspicion, the brothers from the other halls can also carry out the punishment, Hong Junbao said loudly. Junbao's words are reasonable. Weilong is from the torture hall. Why don't you let the people from the torture hall do the job this time? It will prevent the other brothers from gossiping. Xiang Xinghui stood up and said. Zhang Mengbiao did not avoid arousing suspicion and gave Xiang Xinghui a thumbs up. Hong Junbao nodded, and the 2 men behind Xiang Xinghui walked up to the platform. Excuse me. As soon as he finished speaking, the thick plank landed on Hong Weilong's body. Chapter 384. The 2 men used all of their strength, and after 4 or 5 strokes, blood started to appear on Hong Weilong's buttocks. Guopai couldn't help but frown. This 4th Uncle Hong was really stupid. You're a peak Xiantian master. Don't you know how to use your inner strength to resolve the situation? Hall Master Hong, the sect rules we're enforcing are not bad, right? Let your people do the 3 knives and 6 holes. After we're done with the 3 knives and 6 holes, if Hall Master Hong still wants us to do the 50 strokes, we'll come up again. One of the 2 men said with a smile. Hong Junbao was so angry that he was speechless. Bastards, if it was in the past, Hong Junbao would have kicked these 2 idiots to death. But today was the incense hall, so he couldn't do that. Let me do the bloodletting for 4th Uncle. There should be a rule in the Hong sect that states that we can't kill each other. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you'll be resented by 4th Uncle. Guopai smiled and walked down from the stage. Someone behind Chun Hongfa wanted to say something, but Chun Hongfa reached out and stopped him. It didn't matter who was going to enforce the sect rules. Anyway, the 3 knives and 6 holes were inevitable. If this young man went up to enforce the sect rules and didn't execute the 3 knives and 6 holes well, then Hong Laosi would have to suffer twice. Brother, the 3 knives and 6 holes are not that simple to enforce. Although you have a good relationship with the sect leader, if you make a mistake in the 3 knives and 6 holes, even the sect leader won't be able to save you. Zhang Mengbiao squinted his eyes and said. From the first time he saw Guopai, he felt uncomfortable. Today was the incense hall, and this uncomfortable feeling came from this young man in front of him. 4th Uncle, I'm going to enforce the sect rules for you. Do you have any objections? Guopai said with a smile. However, before he could finish his words, a sharp knife appeared in his hand. Then, with lightning speed, it pierced through Hong Weilong's arms, calves, and thighs. 6 conspicuous knife wounds appeared, causing one scalp to go numb. Guopai stabbed the saber directly into the ground and then poked Hong Weilong's body a few times. The bleeding wound immediately stopped. Guopai took out a small jade bottle and poured some white powder on the wound. Immediately, a cool feeling rushed into Hong Weilong's mind. It doesn't hurt anymore. Hong Weilong's eyes widened. It doesn't hurt anymore. The 3 stab and 6 holes were even easier than the cane punishment. 4th uncle, I apologize for offending you just now. Guopai smiled and said, Master Hong, 4th uncle is one of your men. Now that 4th uncle is not feeling well, you can get someone to help him to the side to rest. As for your 50 beatings, whoever wants to do it can do it. After Guopai finished speaking, he returned to his seat. However, everyone in the hall was completely stunned by Guopai's move. Little brother, you're really good. Old Shin admires you. After the incense hall assembly is over, Old Shin would like to have a few drinks with you. Shin Saiyong said with a smile. He was probably the only person in the entire Hong sect who could avoid all the meridians and complete the 3 stab and 6 holes. Guopai smiled and nodded. Hong Wanong wanted to say something, but he was stopped by Guopai. The old man wanted to talk about seniority, but now was not the time to talk about seniority. Then, it was Hong Junbao and Fan Hongdao's turn to receive the punishment. Just as Hong Junbao lay down, a voice sounded in his ears. Master Hong, use your inner strength to protect your body. This is just the beginning. Don't wait until the punishment is over. Some people will be happy if you can't stand up. Hong Junbao looked at Guopai, who was smiling on the stage. He was shocked at first, but then he nodded his head lightly. Other than the first few strikes that caused Hong Junbao some minor injuries, the rest of the punishment couldn't hurt Hong Junbao at all. In the middle of the punishment, Hong Junbao even used his inner strength to break a board. The other hall masters naturally noticed that Hong Junbao used his inner strength, but they couldn't do anything about it. He was an enlightened master. In terms of strength, other than Guopai, this hall master of the punishment hall was the most powerful person in the room. Fan Hongdao didn't hesitate either. He was injured, and he had been holding back his inner strength since the beginning of the punishment. When the punishment was over, he could still stand up. He patted the dirt off his body and stood to the side. After the 3 days of punishment, the hall became quiet again. Hong Wantong stood up and looked at everyone in the hall. Everyone had different expressions when he looked at them. Sect leader, now that the punishment is over, shouldn't we talk about the things we mentioned earlier? Are you going to lower the tribute or give us more money? Please tell us the truth this time, so I can go back and answer to my brothers in the outer clan. Zhang Dahu stood up and said, if there are any other halls that feel that the tribute is too much and your salary is too low, you could bring it up together. Hong Wantong didn't answer Zhang Da's question and said with a smile, Uncle Hong, if Dahu didn't mention it, we wouldn't have thought about it. But now, we feel that the salary of our hall masters is a bit low. We don't have much left, Zhang Meng Biao said with a smile. We have so many disciples in the Hong sect, and we all pay to the hall every year. I wonder how much savings the Hong sect has now. Can you tell us? After Zhang Meng Biao finished speaking, Chun Hongfa and Xiang Xinghui also complained that their dividends have been getting less and less in recent years. Other than them, the hall masters of the Confidant Hall, Hung Ho Hall, and Steward Hall also complained, and the entire hall became chaotic again. Alas, so I'm really a bad leader of the Hong sect. It turns out that I haven't paid enough attention to my brothers recently. I'm really ashamed. Hong Wanhong shook his head and said, Sect leader, I don't know how the business of the inner clan is, but the business of the outer 8 clans has always been good. Under the leadership of the hall masters, we are gradually getting on the right track. The American police are no longer watching us, so our business is very good now. I don't think it's as bad as the hall masters said. A woman in her 30s stood up and said loudly, Hall master of the Golden Phoenix Hall, of course you are living a good life. You can make a lot of money just by twisting your butt. When something goes wrong, other halls will help you. Of course, we can't compare with you. You are living a good life, so don't say anything. Chun Hongfa stood up and said loudly to He Zifeng, the hall master of the Golden Phoenix Hall. He Zifeng still wanted to say something, but Hong Wantong waved his hand. He Zifeng sat down helplessly, and the hall master of the Silver Phoenix Hall, who wanted to stand up, dared not to say anything. Since everyone is dissatisfied with me as the sect leader, it's better to make things clear today. The poisoning of me has been found out, and I think we should talk about other things. After these things are dealt with, you can change the sect leader if you want. Hong Wantong said loudly. Zhang Meng Biao and the others were stunned at first, and then they all narrowed their eyes. It turned out that there were other things. What on earth did this old man want to do? The three of them looked at each other and seemed to have guessed something. Uncle Hong, this is what you said. In fact, you are not young anymore. The position of the sect leader should be given to the young people. Uncle Hong, what else do you want to talk about? Chen Hongfa asked with a smile. Yin Su, turn on the TV. Baby June, let your people guard the door. From now on, only people can enter the hall, but not leave. Chapter 385. As soon as Hong Wantong's voice fell, the dozen people behind Hong Junbao closed the door as if they were ready. A few people stood at the other exits and lifted their clothes. Everyone was carrying weapons. The atmosphere in the meeting hall suddenly became tense. Uncle Hong, what's the meaning of this? Although us juniors have done something wrong, the Hong sect has always been straightforward. Isn't it your style to talk about things behind closed doors? Zhang Meng Biao stood up and said loudly, If Uncle Hong does this, I think this meeting will be over. We won't be here to play with the old man anymore. Biao, what's the hurry? It's not good to let too many people know about some things. I also want to minimize some negative effects. Sit down first and watch the video. Hong Wantong squinted and said. As soon as Hong Wantong's voice fell, a big TV in the meeting hall was turned on. It started with videos of Hong Wantong's recent trips, and then people that everyone knew appeared frequently. Hong Fa, the old man will go to Fenghua Tea House soon to see if there's a chance. This old man is too much of a hindrance now. Kill him, and we'll have a better life in the future. It was a recording, but as soon as the recording started, everyone's eyes fell on Zhang Meng Biao. Brother Biao, what did General Songcha say? I've already transferred $300 million to your account. The people in the Golden Triangle are reliable, right? I want high purity. A few karaoke halls are out of food now. Chen Hongfa's voice came from the TV. Hong Fa, Biao, why did you fail again? Isn't it just an old man half in the coffin? You can't even handle this small matter. How's the powder business? I've already contacted a few outer sect leaders. If there's a chance, we'll definitely be able to push the old man down from his position. Then the Hong sect will be under our control. The head of the administration hall said to Xing Huwei, Dao, you know what to do this afternoon, right? If you can pull the old man down, you'll be rewarded. Uncle Biao, don't worry. I've also contacted the leaders of the Confidant Hall, Hung Ho Hall, and Steward Hall. When the time comes, they'll fully cooperate with Uncle Biao. Zhang Da's voice came from the TV. The two women from Jinfeng and Yinfeng still haven't settled the guy from Jiangkou. But if they really fight, they will definitely lose. He Zifeng turned her head and looked at Zhang Dao. Zhang Dao narrowed his eyes and looked at He Zifeng with a confident expression. After the TV was turned off, Hong Wanong looked at the people in the audience and shook his head helplessly. Out of the 8 inner halls, 3 hall masters want this old man dead. Out of the 8 outer halls, 4 hall masters have already regrouped. Haha, I really didn't expect that I, Hong Wantong, would have such a day. Old man, no wonder you opened the incense hall today. It turns out that you are more prepared than us. The recent assassinations were arranged by us. What do you want? What can you do? Don't you want to see what's happening in the courtyard? Do you think that we came to the incense hall conference without any worries, because we are ready to be punished by you? Zhang Mengbiao stood up and said loudly. Chen Hongfa and Xiang Xinghui also stood up. Then, the hall masters of the Confidant Hall, Hung Ho Hall, and Manager Hall also stood up, Zhang Dahu even walked to the front. Hong Junbao, I know that you are very powerful, but you could try it. Let your people open the door and see what's happening outside. Chen Hongfa said loudly to Hong Junbao. Hong Junbao's face darkened. Ever since the TV started, his heart had been in his throat. He knew that something big was going to happen today. When the door opened, Hong Junbao's expression turned even uglier. Over 30 of his men from the disciplinary court were tied up like dumplings. It wasn't just the men from the disciplinary court. Aside from the disciplinary court steward and the disciplinary court steward, the other hall masters were all tied up. The disciplinary court steward and the disciplinary court steward held weapons in their hands and pointed them at the other hall masters. Old man, we didn't want to make a big deal out of this. You forced us to do this. Don't you know how we were going to clean up the Tiandahui? Do you know how many lives are on our hands? If we don't engage in prostitution, gambling, and drugs, and only engage in legitimate businesses, how are we going to feed our brothers? Zhang Mengbiao shouted. In the past, the hall masters and managers would have filled their pockets to the brim as long as they had the slightest bit of power. They have businesses all over the United States. But what about us? 70% of the money we earn has to be given to the hall masters. What's the point of giving it to the hall masters? Isn't it for you old farts to retire? Chen Hongfa shouted crazily. They are right. Old man, why don't you think about it? Why did your own son poison you? Do you really think you're doing a good job as the hall master? Xiang Xinghui said loudly. The other hall masters of the 4 outer halls agreed with him. However, Hong Wantong didn't say much. He wasn't angry either. He directly called Mo Yunyu out. Yunyu, it looks like our plan has failed. Dreams are full, but reality is cruel. These young people always say that. Tell us where the money has gone in the past few years, Hong Wantong said with a smile. Hong Wantong said with a smile. Mo Yunyu looked at the group of people who were shouting and yelling with disappointment and shook her head helplessly. The TV was turned on again. Mo Yunyu plugged in a USB flash drive. Then, a few simple tables appeared. It was the amount of money that the 8 inner and outer halls of the Tiandahui had given to the hall masters in the past year. Open your eyes. This year's deadline is last month. You and your hall masters still have the audacity to make a fuss here. Look at how much you've paid. An inner-sex hall master has paid less than an outer-sex hall master. Do you think no one can see the problem with your accounts? Mo Yunyu shouted. Let's not talk about how much we have given. Don't you want to know where the money has gone? Then let me tell you. There's so many disciples in the Tiandahui. We all know how the Tiandahui rose in the past. Do you know how much the hall master has spent to clear our names? Do you know how much money has been donated to the Swedish government in addition to the United States? Do you know that after you go to Sweden, you can enjoy the lowest welfare in Sweden? You can retire without working? Mo Yunyu said loudly. The outer hall masters lowered their heads subconsciously. Wow, what are you doing? Are you fooled by old man Mo's words? You have a murder case on your hands. This is the United States. There is no way you can clear your names. What are you thinking? Zhang Mengbiao roared. If you want to live a comfortable life in the future, then follow me to kill Hong Wantong and the people behind him. In the future, the Hong sect will be ours. I promise that everyone will live a comfortable life. Brother Biao, since things have come to this point, there is no need to be polite with them. Let's do it. Xiang Xinghui said loudly. Almost 100 people rushed in from the outside. They all had miniature guns in their hands, and the muzzles were pointed at Hong Wantong and the others. Ah Biao, Fa Hui, are you sure you want to go this way? Hong Wantong looked at the muzzles pointed at him, then turned to the 3 of them and asked, Uncle Hong, as long as you give up the position of sect master and leave with Uncle Mo and the other core members of the other halls, we won't make things difficult for you. You've earned enough money over the years. It's time for us juniors to eat some meat, Zhang Mengbiao said loudly. We have prepared the cars outside. You have to get in. We will smuggle you to other countries. If you don't interfere in the affairs in the United States, we will forget about this. Get in. Get in the cars outside that are full of explosives. They will explode if they are driven out. Wapai stood up slowly. You said you wanted to introduce me, but you didn't. Can you give me some time? Brad, who are you? Chapter 386. Zhang Mengbiao squinted his eyes and looked at Guo Pai. At this time, he noticed again that the existence that made him uncomfortable seemed to really make him uncomfortable now. I can't tell the specific relationship between me and the Hong sect, but since the old man has been calling me a bad master, then I can't let the old man call me a bad master in vain. Don't you think so? Guo Pai stepped forward and squinted his eyes. Boy, I don't care who you are. The Hong sect's business is not something you can control. With that, Zhang Mengbiao snatched a pistol from one of his men and pointed it at Guo Pai's head. Brat, you can only blame yourself for coming to the Incense Hall conference this time. Go to hell. Bang. No one believed that Zhang Mengbiao would miss at such a close distance. But when everyone calmed down, they found that the boy named Guo Pai was still standing in the same place. The gun in Zhang Mengbiao's hand was smoking, but it was not Guo Pai who was shot. "Oh, my hand!" Zhang Mengbiao shouted at the top of his lungs. Only a few people in the hall saw what had happened. The moment Zhang Mengbiao opened fire, Guo Pai twisted his wrist as fast as lightning, and the bullet pierced through his own shoulder. "Chen Hongfa, what are you doing? Let your people shoot. All of them shoot." Zhang Mengbiao roared with his arm hanging down. "Unfilial son, you are really unfilial. Originally, Brother Wanong told us, but we didn't believe it. I didn't expect you to do such a thing." 3 old men came in from the side door, and Zhang Mengbiao, who was shouting, suddenly stopped talking. "Dad, you're not in Chicago. When did you come to San Francisco?" Chen Hongfa walked quickly to the old man and asked loudly, "If I was still in Chicago, you would have broken the sky. What do you want to do? Kill all the people in this room? Then kill me first, you unfilial son." Chen Hongfa's old man shouted. Bang! Another gunshot rang out. Everyone was stunned. The gun in Xiang Xinghui's hand rang out. The person who was shot was none other than his own father. The gunshot hit his chest. The old man wanted to say something, but he didn't say a word. "Xiang Xinghui, what are you doing? He is your father." Hong Wantong roared. He was about to step forward to stop Xiang Xinghui, but he was stopped by Hong Weilong, who had recovered. Zhang Mengbiao, Chen Hongfa. Now that things have come to this point, there is no turning back the arrow. We can't stop now. Think about it. Not only the 3 of us, but also all the brothers in the 3 halls. Here, all the brothers in Hong Fa. If you beat my father to death, I'll give you another 100 million worth of goods. Beat him to death, Zhang Mengbiao said loudly with red eyes. Another gunshot sounded in the hall, and then a figure walked to Zhang Mengbiao and Chen Hongfa. The 2 of them squatted on the ground. Guo Pai had 3 more guns in his hand. Xiang Xinghui's eyes were wide open, and he couldn't be more dead. Just when the 2 of them were quarreling, Xiang Xinghui pointed his gun at Guo Pai. But at the moment when he fired, Guo Pai shot again like lightning. The bullets shot out, and many of them hit Guo Pai, but Xiang Xinghui himself. Old Master Hong, this group of people is unrepentant. Do you want to wait for them to trick the brothers in the 3 halls into shooting before you are willing to be ruthless? If so, you let me down? Guo Pai said loudly to Hong Wantong. At this time, Hong Wantong's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness. He stretched out his right hand and snapped his fingers. The 8 secret doors of the hall all opened, and then there was a burst of gunshots. Zhang Mengbiao and Chen Hongfa were lying on the ground with their eyes wide open. They couldn't be more dead. Sect Master, we are guilty. We were wrong. It was all arranged by Zhang Mengbiao. It has nothing to do with us. Zhang Dao looked at the 2 dead bodies with no intact flesh on their bodies and directly knelt on the ground. The 3 hall masters of the Confidant Hall, Hung Ho Hall, and Steward Hall also knelt on the ground. A group of disciples with guns in their hands threw their guns on the ground. 8 secret doors. More than a dozen men in black walked out of each of the secret doors. They were all holding M4s. With the weapons in their hands, it was simply not enough to deal with them. "Boss, there are gunshots inside. Should we go in and take a look?" An American policeman who was guarding outside the door, a young man, asked an old policeman, "What are you looking at, Terry? You have been in Chinatown for so long. Don't you know? Huaxia people set off firecrackers when they have a meeting. Just now, it was the sound of firecrackers. Can't you tell? The old policeman said loudly to the young policeman named Terry. Terry nodded slightly, but the sound just now was clearly gunshots. But looking at the nervous expression on the old policeman's face, he naturally didn't ask more questions. The Hong sect has a history of more than 200 years. In the past, we were called thieves. With the word thief in our name, we would be watched. In the recent 10 years, we have been trying to get rid of this word. I hope that everyone can live a good life. Hong Wantong looked at the dead bodies on the ground and said softly, "Since July last year, the three halls, the hall manager, and the hall manager have been in contact with General Songcha of the Golden Triangle. Recently, they have a deal as high as $8 billion. The three of them may not know that this huge deal has been targeted by the American authorities for a long time. As long as they are fans of the Hong sect in the United States, their efforts over the past 10 years will all be in vain. 8 billion fans will be counted on the entire Hong sect." After Hong Wantong finished speaking, all the people in the hall widened their eyes. No wonder this incense hall meeting was held in such a hurry. It turned out that this was the reason. No matter what they do to me, I won't say anything. I have a very good relationship with the old hall masters. Even if a few juniors want to kill me, it is worth it for me to live until now. But I can't watch the 200 years of the Hong sect's foundation be ruined in my hands. Hong Wantong said loudly, "Mo Yunyu, let all the brothers of the three halls outside in. I have something to say to them and the other 4 brothers of the outer halls." Not long after, a group of people entered the hall. The first thing they saw was the body on the ground. Then they stopped talking. Of course, they knew the body on the ground. Now, they were very nervous. All the brothers of the Hong sect. Something big happened in the Hong sect today. I think you should know better than me why this happened. But the result may be different for what you think. Hong Wantong said, holding the microphone. The Hong sect has been developing much slower than in the past few years. The money given to you each month is limited. But I hope you can hold on for a few more years. After a few years, I believe you will see a new Hong sect. Of course, I can't let go of what happened today. But I just want to tell you one thing. No matter how much you are involved in this matter, since the 3 hall masters are dead, there will be no more deaths. The 3 halls will have new hall masters. I hope you can assist the new hall masters well. After 3 years, I will enforce the rules of the Hong sect according to your performance today. Hong Wantong's words made the group of people raise their heads slightly. This meant that the headmaster was going to let them go. "Headmaster, we are guilty. Please punish us." No one knew who knelt on the ground first. Then all the disciples of the 3 inner halls and the 4 outer halls knelt on the ground. "Get up. If you're really dissatisfied with the Hong sect, you can leave. I promise that the Hong sect will never make trouble for you behind your back." Hong Wantong said again. At this time, no one under the stage said a word. Hong Wantong nodded slightly. The storm of the Hong sect could finally come to an end. Chapter 387. Master Scoundrel, let's drink some tea. What exactly did you feed Fourth Bro and Baby June? These 2 brats didn't even train so hard when they were young. Guo Pao and Hong Wantong were sitting in the courtyard of the villa, drinking a pot of tea leisurely. Something small. It can help Fourth Uncle recover from yesterday's injury and help him break through to the Xiantian realm. In the future, if there's any fighting in the Hong sect, don't ask Fourth Uncle to do it. Once he breaks through to the Xiantian realm, he can be regarded as a cultivator. Guopai said with a smile. Cough, cough, cough. Bad master, you said it can help the stinky boy break through, just like Baby June? Hong Wantong almost choked on the tea and asked with wide eyes. This young master was too scary. How dare he say it was a small thing when he had such a thing? In a while, I'll prescribe some medicine for Old Master to help you recuperate. When Old Master was young, he was also a fierce character. Was said with a mischievous smile, "Old man, don't thank me yet. I really do have something that I need your help with." Bad master, as long as the Hong sect can do it, we will do it. Hong Wantong said with a smile. I want to open a Chinese medicine clinic in the United States. I want to open one in Chinatown first. I need your help to prepare a place. Of course, the Hong sect will have shares in the clinic. As for the staff, I will find a way from Huaxia. Guo Pai said with a smile. Hong Wantong nodded. This was a great thing for the Hong sect. He had thought about opening a hospital before, but it was difficult to open a clinic in San Francisco, let alone a hospital. But if it was only limited to opening a clinic in Chinatown, even the United States government would not interfere too much, let alone a Chinese medicine clinic. Dad, what are you talking about with Little Rascal? Let's have lunch together later. I've contacted Chef Zheng, and he'll prepare some of his signature dishes. Although they're not as good as Little Rascal's, they're definitely delicious. Hong Weilong said with a smile as he walked over. He was happy, really happy. Although he had been flogged 100 times and had been stabbed 3 times and 6 times by Guo Pai, the benefits he had received were far greater than the price he had paid. Hong Weilong had replaced Xiang Xinghui's position and was now the hall master of the Hong sect. He was also temporarily supervising the hall masters. He was definitely the first among the 8 inner halls. However, what made him happy was not just that he was the hall master. What really made him happy was that he was now an enlightened master. Of course, he was still a bit weaker than Hong Junbao. After Hong Junbao took the pill provided by Guo Pai, he was now an enlightened master. What do you mean, little bad, little bad? If I call you Master Bad, you call me Master Bad. If you call me Master Bad again, I'll break your legs. Hong Wantong said loudly. Hong Weilong nodded repeatedly and admitted his mistake. His father's mood had just recovered, so it was better not to challenge him. Master Bad is going to open a clinic in Chinatown. You can take care of the early matters. I remember that there's a good place near several private clinics of the Hong sect. You can take care of it. When Master Bad is done with the martial art competition, he will come and have a look. If possible, we can start slowly in Chinatown. Hong Wantong said with a smile. Master Bad, you're really going to open a clinic in the United States? That's great. Everything will be easy. Don't worry about it. When it opens, you can come and see the patients for a day. I'm sure you can suppress these foreign devils. Hong Weilong said excitedly. Although the old man knew a little about Guo Pai's medical skills because Guo Pai had detoxified him, Hong Weilong had recently heard Hong Tai talk about Guo Pai and then looked up information about Guo Pai on the internet. He knew much more about Guo Pai than the old man. If Guo Pai was willing to open a clinic in the United States, not to mention the pill, Guo Pai could earn a lot of platinum just by treating minor illnesses. Thinking about it, when he had just arrived in the United States, if the Hong sect did not have their own doctors, he would not have been able to afford medical expenses. Master Bad is so busy. I definitely can't see patients by myself. I'm just going to open a small clinic in Chinatown first. You can think of a way, Hong Wantong said loudly. He naturally did not understand Hong Weilong's meaning. All right. Actually, a few days ago, I told the American ambassador that I'm going to open a clinic in the United States. However, with my current status, it's not convenient for me to show my face. It seems that my wife has a good relationship with the Regis family in the United States. If there's any problem, I can ask them for help, Guo Pai said with a smile. Cough, cough, cough. Master Bad, if you know someone from the Regis family, then you can open a clinic in the United States however you want. No one will stop you. Hong Wantong coughed a few times. How many Regis family could there be in the United States? The disciple of the master was indeed not ordinary. However, Hong Wantong did not know that this Guo Pai was much more powerful than Master Yufeng. Master Bad, there's no need to look for the Regis family for this matter. We'll do the business ourselves. It's a profitable business with little capital. There's no need to let the foreigners take advantage of us. When Hong Weilong heard Guo Pai mention the Regis family, instead of getting excited, he became even more cautious. What kind of pills did he eat? It was not something that could be measured with money. If he really opened a clinic to sell pills, he definitely could not let the foreigners get involved in this business. Then, Hong Weilong explained to his old man why he said that. Hong Wantong was completely stunned by Guo Pai. Powerful. This is more than powerful. It seems that I have to take some time to go to Huaxia. First, I have to pay a visit to Master Yufeng. Second, I have to get to know this young master in front of me. "Old man, after the martial arts tournament is over, you can come back to the capital with us. At that time, I'll take care of all your meals, drinks, and entertainment." "Ha!" Guopai said with a smile. Suddenly, he recalled the time when Chun Jiadi brought the two immortals to see bikinis. He couldn't help but laugh. However, after the eight-winged angel Raphael's angelic sword was destroyed in Las Vegas, many things happened in the Angel Council. They sent 16 two-winged angels and 8 four-winged angels to Huaxia to inquire about Nangong Hao's situation. It seemed that he had encountered quite a bit of trouble in Huaxia. "You're," said to Li Shixin with a smile. "Senior Li, are these guys here to look for you and Senior Chiu? They have been loitering outside our clinic for several days. Shouldn't you come out and take care of them?" Before Big Brother Bad Guy left, he said that if there's anything, you guys have to deal with it. It's not good for a girl like me to get involved in fighting and killing. The two four-winged angels found Bugyaku based on the relationship between Nangong Lingma and Guopai. They wanted to get some information from Bugyaku, but they were discovered by Yuer. When she was in the United States, Yuer knew about the Angel Council. This time, the four-winged angels came to Huaxia. Yuer could almost guess that Guopai had offended these people in the United States. So what if he offended them? Since they came to Huaxia to cause trouble, he shouldn't go back. Damn it, the great demon's matter is already annoying enough. Which blind fool came to Bugyaku to cause trouble? I'll go take a look and see who it is. If it's related to the great demon, then don't blame me for bullying the weak, Li Shixin scolded loudly. Then, Li Shixin directly captured the two four-winged angels and brought them to Bugyaku's secret room. It didn't take much effort for him to get the purpose of coming to Huaxia from the two of them. Little Lingma is so cute. How dare you attack her in the United States? You must be tired of living. When Li Shixin heard that they wanted to bully little Ling Mo in the United States, he immediately flew into a rage. Although he hadn't known the little girl for a long time, the two old men liked this straightforward little girl very much. They directly killed the two four-winged angels until they couldn't be more dead. Out of the attitude of eliminating the root of the problem, the other two-winged angels and four-winged angels were all mysteriously disposed of by the two old men in less than a day. Huaxia Security Bureau didn't even find out what was going on. A group of people from the Angel Council in the United States, who had given them a headache back then, disappeared just like that. Chapter 388. Grandpa, we have to go back to Las Vegas tomorrow. The Superpower Martial Arts Tournament is about to begin. It will probably be over in about a month. After the tournament is over, we will go back to Huaxia together. Guopai said goodbye to Hong Wantong and flew back to Las Vegas from San Francisco. After Guopai and Little Ling Mo left Las Vegas, nothing happened at the Hilton Hotel. This allowed the Hilton Hotel's business to return to normal, and it also made Tim Hilton feel a lot better. It was not a big deal to see Guopai again this time, because they had to go to the venue of the Superpower Martial Arts Tournament tomorrow morning. The reception task of the Hilton Hotel had been completed. Brother Nangong, Little Ling Mo, you are finally back. In the lobby of the Hilton Hotel, everyone had a sumptuous dinner. They would go to the venue tomorrow morning, and today was their last dinner at the Hilton Hotel. Zhou Zhan said with a hint of excitement when he saw Guopai and Little Ling Mo. If he still didn't know that Nangong Hao was Guopai by now, then he would have been the captain of Huaxia's superpower team for nothing. Brother Zhou, Little Ling Mo, and I went to San Francisco recently. Did anything big happen in Las Vegas? Guopai asked with a smile. Nothing much. Later, there were teams coming to Las Vegas with various identities every day. Every day was interesting, but you missed out on a lot of interesting things. However, the strength of the contestants in this tournament is much stronger than in previous tournaments. With our current strength, it will be difficult for us to escape unscathed, Zhou Zhan said with a frown. Guopai smiled slightly. As long as he wanted to, it would not be difficult for him to escape unscathed. However, before flying from San Francisco to Las Vegas, Guopai received a call from his grandfather, who told him to change the goal of this trip. Little bad. I know you were in Las Vegas. How could you not tell your grandfather about such a big thing? But I'm too lazy to say anything to you. Take good care of Little Ling Mo in Las Vegas, and be sure to bring Huaxia's superpower team back safely. There's one more thing I have to tell you. The old man wants the prize of the martial arts tournament. Help him get it. It would be best if you can get it for both the individual and the team. Guopai's phone call made Guopai's eyes widen. What kind of prize could there be for the champion to be worth the old man's concern? However, since the old man said so, he had to help the old man win the championship. He also wanted to know what the prize of the champion was. Brother Zhou, I am afraid you already know my identity. Leave the matter of escaping unscathed to me. However, you should also help me win the championship of this martial arts tournament. My old man wants the prize, Guopai said with a smile. Cough, cough, cough. Brother, you're not joking, right? If we can win the championship of this martial arts tournament, we can take care of the matter of escaping unscathed, Zhou Zhan said with a red face. I will help secretly, but you have to do your best. Also, I feel that there's something wrong with the Yim brothers. You should take some time to find out what they are up to. Don't let us defeat the other international ability users only to be destroyed by our own people in the end, Guopai said as he looked at the two pairs of twins standing not far away. There was definitely something wrong with the Yim brothers. Hello, everyone. I am a person in charge of this martial arts tournament, Davis. I am an old friend of many people, but there are also many new friends this time. Have a good rest tonight. Tomorrow morning, we will go to the martial arts tournament together. It is an honor to meet all of you. I wish you all a wonderful night. A middle-aged man in a suit finished speaking and left the hotel in a car. Brother Nangong, this Davis is an out-and-out smiling tiger. Also, today he will arrange for all the adult men to sleep with women. These women are not in the safe period. Many people know about the cruelty of this supernatural martial arts competition and will have a beautiful night like Davis said. However, they don't know that there's only one consequence for doing so. Whether they die or not, their descendants will become members of the Vatican in the United States. This is the Vatican's conspiracy, Zhou Zhan said softly. Brother Zhou, don't worry. We will not open the door tonight. We will not leave any romantic debts in the United States, Peng Gang said with a smile. However, Guopai remembered two words, the United States Vatican. Brother Nangong, you have Little Ling Mo to look after you, so you will not be guarding the door. However, I'm not sure about the Yim brothers. Zhou Zhan shook his head and said, he did not know much about the United States Vatican, but he knew that this organization was the largest ability user organization in the world. There were ability users of all colors in this organization. Most of the ability users were the descendants of generations of ability users who stayed in Las Vegas during the martial arts tournament. That Davis is really a bad guy. Dirty. Little Ling Mo pouted and said. Guopai smiled and patted Little Ling Mo's head. He did not know what this little girl was thinking every day. However, this last night in Las Vegas was a night of debauchery. Fortunately, Guopai had set up a formation in the room early. He and Little Ling Mo did not hear the sounds of passion in the other rooms. However, it was difficult for the other ability users in Huaxia. In the morning, Guopai could clearly feel that Peng Gang and Yin Feng did not sleep well. Damn, a foreign woman knocked on the door for half the night. I did not rest well last night, Peng Gang complained after seeing Guopai. Me too. I saw that girl through the peephole. Her figure and looks are undeniable. I really don't know where Davis found so many beautiful girls. If all the metahumans were arranged, at least 500 girls like her would be prepared. Yin Feng couldn't help but say. Guopai did not say much. His eyes fell on the Japanese and Koreans who were not far away. Obviously, some of them could not control themselves. Their captain was loudly scolding a few young members. Guopai naturally knew who was the problem with a glance. He secretly gave a thumbs up to this man named Davis. Good, really good. Sitting in a suite on the top floor of Las Vegas, a man named David was reporting yesterday's situation to Davis. There are a total of 653 single ability users. Among them, Miss Lena's people knocked on 589 people's doors, which is a lot more than in previous years. However, among the Huaxia people, only the Yin brothers opened the door. The others did not move. On the Japanese side, 2 people did not open the door. In Korea, only their captain did not open the door. The sperm extraction plan was done very well, David said with a smile. Good, very good. Let Lena deal with the girls' bodies as soon as possible. Send those who can get pregnant directly to the Vatican's base in Northern Europe. I believe the Pope will be very happy, David said with a smile. Go and call 10 girls who did not knock on the door yesterday to see me. I will help them. David did not dare to say more. He turned and left the room. He could not help but say one word. Beast. Feng Rue, Yi Peng, take these 2 pills. The effect is very mild. In this ability martial arts competition, if Brother Peng or Brother Zhou is injured, you will need to replace them. In fact, ability users are very similar to our Wuxiu people, but they have more martial arts skills, Guopai said and handed 2 pills to the 2 young people. Ability martial art competition, don't let me down. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.